Keyframe interval.
You get everything set up, maybe grab a clip or two. Things that Trump had said and H&M stuff. Talk about the topics. And something short on them.
A little bit short notice.
But I'm saying whenever you can. That's something I got a little thing I'm gonna go over first. So we already going.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Welcome on to those who are already watching. Just give me a moment to get everything set up. We're gonna be ready to rock and roll. Hope everybody is doing well. Kaylin, hello. See you from Trinidad and Tobago. What's going on? Welcome in. Black Atheist, yes, we do. We will be allowed some callers a little bit later. So
we don't have a number for it.
Got a number.
This is like Google Hangouts, but we do read the comments often, like throughout the show.
King Lamontre, what's going on, brother? Jewel, how you doing? Boom Dog, hey, what's going on? Freak, I see you. Brandon, thank you. Glad to be back. Joseph, what's going on, brother? Peace. Bessie, I see you in Houston. I'll be out there soon. Speaking of Houston, guys, keep in mind I'll be in Irving, Texas. That's February the 9th and 10th. That's Avocado Lounge, 8 o'clock. Don't miss it. Yes, Black Atheist. Hello, Jamie. Welcome in. Hello, welcome in.
Kevin is more handsome than me. That's why I don't show my face.
Those are Josh's words.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. So you see the name of the show is today, or the name of the discussion today is called Who is Your Puppet Master? So we're going to talk about, obviously, the things that are used to control us, or the things that we kind of respond to, the way we respond to certain issues, things that the media puts in front of us, that the world puts in front of us, and how we respond to them. Why do we respond the way we do? Things like that. So we're going to talk about who exactly is your puppet master? Who are you being controlled by? Are you being controlled?
I'm thinking about it, Kevin. I don't think Trump verbally said it, because I think they said it was a misquote, or he denied saying it or something.
Sure. It was. I saw it posted up. Yeah.
I don't think he actually, at least they didn't catch it on video, I don't think, but I'll double check. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Okay. Welcome in everybody on Facebook. I can see your comments only when I'm checking my phone. I try to stay focused on YouTube, but I want to tell you, thank you guys for watching. Let's see here. Winter, welcome in. Maisha, our Black Widow, welcome in. Steve, Shoshana, welcome in. Brittany, Praise, Brittany, welcome in, guys. So I won't read them all. It's a lot of you guys watching, but I want to say welcome in. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you've had a good week, or whatever we calling it, right? This past 7-day period, as it cycles around, we like to call that a week. So your past 7 days, I hope those went really well for you. I hope everybody's coming to the table today with an open mind, because I may say some things that may offend you, like always. But I want you to challenge yourself. The main thing about evolution is that you actually challenge yourself, you know. So actually, you got to be willing to make your own cocoon before you can ever evolve, right? And you got to know when it's time. If you're willing to think, you can speed this process up. If not, you may still be stuck in a vicious cycle of doing the same things you're doing now, wondering why in the world you can't seem to find any peace in your life. The reason you won't be able to find any peace in your life is because your mind is stuck on all of these little videos that's scrolling up your Facebook pages. Okay, and we direct our attention to these things, and honestly, a lot of things that don't even deserve our attention the way we give it to them, we give our attention to those things, and we're spinning our wheels because we're not being productive. We're actually being counterproductive to our own cause by memes and too many videos. We're gonna get into it in just a little second, though. How we doing, Josh?
I'm just looking at the comments. I think we're doing okay. Can you guys let us know right now how the sound is? I boosted Kevin up like double, and I lowered myself down by like a third. So I shouldn't be too loud, hopefully. I shouldn't be too loud, and Kevin shouldn't be too low. What happened, Kev?
I was gonna say, Sarad said, yes, we are being controlled. Absolutely, we are.
I saw somebody said the devil is the puppet master.
Dang.
I think they were being sarcastic.
Right. I mean, hey, again, a lot of people do believe in this character. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too. You can't deal with the mind without talking about a little bit of everything, right? We're not gonna be biased tonight. We're not just gonna talk about religion, but we are gonna talk about how the mind works and why it does adopt things that it doesn't have 100% of information on. Why we come to conclusions so fast. So everybody's saying sound is great, fantastic,
excellent. Glad to hear.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. So guys, I'm gonna say it again. Just a reminder: Irving, Texas. That's the 9th and the 10th. I will be there. Now we will put up all of the tour dates. Be the Evolution Tour. We'll kick off February the 9th and 10th in Irving, Texas, at the Avocado Lounge at 8 o'clock. We're gonna be getting it on. So it's not just me speaking, of course. I got a couple of things put together, guys. We're gonna give you guys a real show. We're gonna give you guys a real discussion. So we're gonna have a good time. So make sure you guys come out if you're close by, and if you're not, keep your eyes on the other dates as well.
I put it on in front of you. So.
I like that. I saw that. I thought that was real cool.
Okay.
All right. So let's see here. Before I get into it, I want to keep everybody reminded that this is a show where, Josh and myself, we do give our time freely to those who come to learn and come to grow, come to discuss. And we always like to say, if you get something that you actually learning, if you get something that's helping you, don't forget to donate, okay? We do need the funds, okay? So make sure you do not forget to donate if you're hearing something that you like, if you're hearing something that's going to help you in your immediate life, all right?
Or at least share. A share is good too, and that's
absolutely free. A share is good too. Just keep in mind, guys, we are trying to feed the homeless. For those of you that follow me on a norm and listen to the show often, we are still raising money. We still have a $10,000 goal to feed the homeless. Okay, so I'm still trying to get that up there. The tent city feeding there. I was trying to do it by Christmas, but we didn't raise the money just yet. So just keep in mind, we're still trying to do those things. What I'll do is I'll put links up after this. All right, so let's get into it. Why do we adopt certain beliefs? Let me read a couple of comments before we get started. Let's see here. Right now, I'd love to be out in LA. We're definitely looking that way too. Thank you very much, Joseph. Man, I'll be there. Let me know. All right, guys. So I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of how we adopt certain memories. So let's adopt certain ideas. So I stole this blackboard off the refrigerator. My son actually was using it to count down the days to his birthday. All right, so he saw me taking this out the refrigerator. It said 14 days to my birthday, and it had a heart on it. He said, "Don't use that." I told him I'll put it back. So, happy early birthday, son, if you see this. So anyway, I'm gonna use this board to show you guys kind of how our mind works. So this first circle I'm gonna draw. This is your first circle here. All right, I'm gonna call this one right here experience. So we got experiences right here, right? Experiences are anything that we can gather in our senses, right? In our what we call our five senses, anything that we can gather. Now we know that when it deals with your five senses, there's an overwhelming amount of data that is out there for us to learn. And we use our experiences to try to learn the world, map the world, discover the world, and learn how to live inside this world, right? This is what we live off of mainly, experience, right? So this right here is what we live off of mainly, experience. This is how we learn the world. But in a young age, what's primary is beliefs, right? Because when you're a child, you depend on your parents for information, right? You depend on your parents for information. So you develop a sense of beliefs, things that may not actually have evidence yet. Not that they're not facts, but there are things that don't have evidence yet. But so you believe in them based on your parents teaching them to you, okay? Your parents' own discrepancies in their mind that they may have been taught about other people. You may learn this during that age, right? If they are racist or have any type of aggressions or whatever towards any other gender or whatever for that matter, you will learn these things early in life in your belief system. There's no fact to it at all, but you can pick these things up. Now you're going to have your own experiences which will kick in later, but now you're dealing with beliefs. So there's two different ways to learn here, okay? Now I'm going to show you a different one. This is what I'm going to call safe zone. Thank you very much, RA. This is what I call safe zone, okay? Safe zone. Now, what is your safe zone? Safe zone is anything that you use to label things as, right? Let's say a chair. That's something that you can hear every day, and it's not going to bother you or upset you at all, calling something a chair. This is simply descriptive things, right? Chair. Let's see. Let's say circle, right? You have no emotion attached to this shape at all, but you define it as such. If you see a shape that fits what you have been taught was a circle, you're going to call it a circle. It's only going to bother you if someone calls that circle a square, a rectangle, a triangle, anything that's not a circle. That's the only time it would actually start to bother you, because your experience now, because it's not a fact that it's a circle, okay? It's not a fact. It's not a fact that it's a chair. Well, in a sense it is, because if that was called a chair by the person who created it, yes. However, a circle, this is something that we call it to define it, but it's not a circle, it's a shape, however, right? But if someone calls a circle a square, you may feel some type of way towards it, because you know that's wrong according to what you have experienced, not fact though. So again, safe zone are things that we don't really need proof of, but it's okay to call them that. Like gravity, right? Like air. We talked about this a little bit last week. We can call things and we don't need them to be facts. So that's safe zone. Fire. Fire is also safe zone, right? That's a word that's safe zone. But here's the thing. Fire, though, it's hard to do this when you're looking at the camera. We just do it like this.
Can you clarify what you mean by safe zone?
Safe zone. So I want to use the word, let's use the word congruent. The word congruent. Congruent just means, it's a word that means in harmony. A word that means in agreement. So if you and I were to say, let's say, if you and I were to both look at fire, we would both agree that it's fire, right?
Right.
So this is something that we call fire. It doesn't have to be a fact. We know what we're talking about. So, but that doesn't mean we know what fire is. It makes us feel safer knowing what to call fire. So that's why I say safe zone, so to speak. Like we feel safer giving descriptive names to things, and it makes us feel better about the world we live in, actually calling things, but we don't know what they are. Like for instance, a platypus, it's like 3 or 4 different animals in one from the looks of it, but we give it a name. So we may feel more comfortable with it because we have a name for it. It's not in like if it was your first time seeing a platypus, you see people do this all the time. They'll see an animal that they've never saw before. Someone's showing it online, or they're outside at the beach or whatever, or in the woods. They see this bug or something you've never saw before, and everybody's going crazy. What is this thing? And then someone comes on there and shows that this animal is not something that's foreign. In fact, it's an animal that we already know about. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh, okay, cool." But at first, it was like, "What is this thing?" Just the fact that somebody calls it a name is going to make us feel some type of connection to it. This is how the brain associates to things, right? Calling a tree a tree, and a leaf a leaf doesn't mean you know what it is or how it necessarily works. You just have a descriptive way to go about it. Safe zone. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I just wanted to break it down for the general audience.
Yeah, no problem at all. All right, so dealing with this safe zone, we can have fire here. And fire is going to go to safe zone because you know what to call fire. But here's the thing. Fire is also associated with your experience because fire is also hot. These are things no one can tell you any different, right? Now, again, hot is also a word that belongs in a safe zone because that's just a word that you call hot or call getting burned. It's not a real thing. Like we just call it that. You see what I'm saying? These are words that we use to describe things. But we know what we're saying, right? We all speak English here. Hopefully everybody on here does. Thank you very much, Shantavius. But here's the thing. So here we go. You got experiences. These are things that you deal with in life. These are your ways of learning the world. You have beliefs, things that your parents have learned. Let's deal with beliefs for a second, just to give you an example here. Let's say you were raised under a family member who was racist, who thought that black people were more prone to violence, right? Or thought that black people were more prone to being dumb or something like that, right? Less human, whatever. These are going to be your core beliefs up here, what your mother taught you, racism. Now, you've been around your whole life being racist, only because your parents now have thought this way. How did you adopt this way of thinking? Your parents didn't actually tell you, "Hey, I need you to be racist." I need you to be. This is not what happens. Our parents don't force these ideas on us. This is what I'm going to call sense of worth. This is what children do. Children learn their parents by watching their behavior. If a child says something that upsets a parent, they know not to go that way. If a child said something that makes a parent happy and pleased, they know that's probably more likely the way to go. And we learn these things because we get punished for certain things. We get punished for saying certain things, doing certain things our whole life. And a lot of them are not just stem simply from making a mistake. They stem from a child's paradigm. For instance, excuse me. So they can stem from your parents' paradigm. My grandmother thought it was offensive to say what, right? So if she called your name and you said anything other than huh or yes ma'am or whatever, she actually would be offended. You cannot say what. Now, but the word what is not a bad word. To her it was. So believe me, I'm 36 now. I dealt with this last year, getting rid of that in my mind, that what is not a negative way to respond to someone. It simply is a way to respond to someone calling your name or asking you a question or whatever. Or you're not hearing someone clearly. Doesn't mean I don't really want to answer your question or do what you're about to propose or request of me. But this is what I thought because my grandmother thought this way. That is not a fact. I simply adopted her mental paradigm and went around my whole life without any evidence, thinking that what wasn't okay, and literally would get mad at people when they said what. Like, what, you got a problem with me? What you mean what? Like, what you mean what? How I thought. I had to deal with that though. Why do I feel that way about this word? And I know I learned that from my grandmother. Her whole family was that way, and she was raised that way. So again, if you're raised to believe that somebody is a certain way because of the color of their skin, I got racism here, right? Here's what's going to happen. You may say black people are all thieves, right? Black people mooch off the government. Black people are all robbers, right? Or whatever. Now, you meet a black person and all of a sudden they don't seem to be any of those things. Your experience is telling you that this is not true. What you're witnessing in your actual life is showing you that this is not true. Yet you'll say, I only know 1 or 2 good black people, but those 2 black people that you know are the only 2 black people you know. You know, and those are the only 2 that you know that are good. And so we'll start saying things like this to try to justify our belief system so we don't have to change. Like, we're lazy mentally. And this is why we fall for a lot of things. We don't like to really think and deal with we don't like to change. We really don't. We scream evolution, we scream change, we scream we won't change, but I don't think we really want to be changed, to be honest with you. I don't think we want to go inside and deal with our own actual things. It doesn't make you a bad person necessarily because you've been mentally programmed to believe in things without examining them. However, I believe it does if someone is showing you how your paradigm is literally hurting the rest of us actually growing as a community, and then you still don't want to deal with them. I do think that how it could make you a bad person. I think that definitely speak towards your character. That you're not willing to change. So what?
I wanted to do a video with you. Well, at least I want to give you an idea, I guess, publicly now. Okay. Actions versus words.
Absolutely.
It's funny because we had, like, recently, you know, it's 2018. Everybody's like, I'm cutting negative energy off. I'm cutting you off. And we got people making dramatic posts. I'm leaving this group. It's too much this and that. It's like, all right, whatever. But then they'll get riled up when they watch news, or they'll just share negative news and be like, yeah, I can't believe this is happening. Why are we doing it? So absolutely. they already replugged themselves into the negativity via news, but they think they're cleaner. They think they're, you know, washing away everything, but they're really just focusing on the news now. So they're finding a different source of negative energy now.
Thanks.
But they'll say, I'm looking to clean, you know, I'm looking to clean up everything and good vibes this, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very, they shoot themselves in the foot, but they don't know it. Absolutely. It's just very interesting to watch.
Again, that's why I say if we all were to look inside, we could fix the problem. We think the problem is out, and that's why we chase every little thing that we see. You see what I'm saying? None of this stuff requires our direct attention. At least most of it doesn't. You know, I want to say thank you very much, Fernando, for your donation, and thank you very much, Larry Williams. Karima said that she wasn't allowed to answer to what either. Again, your parents' paradigm, you did nothing wrong. But you were convinced that you did, and I guarantee you, Kareem, if you don't mind, I guarantee you probably adopted that thought and thought that something was wrong with it, with actually responding in that way. What? WHAT will get you smacked in the mouth.
My mom was the same way. Actually,
see, it's crazy.
I still don't say what anymore.
I won't say it, but it doesn't bother me when someone says it to me now.
Right, same. I usually say like yes, or you know.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah, I never say what to something. If I say what, I'm trying to be smart. That's how I was taught, you know.
My whole family knows I'm a smart ass, so that kind of worked against me too, though. So I thought it was that, but it's interesting hearing other people had the same experience.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, man. Someone said the handle of the puppet strings resembles the cross. I have nothing to do with that. Josh put that up there. I'm just playing. I'll put that on you.
Yeah, so it's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go through my examples again, guys. If you've been raised by your parents, okay, to believe that black people are inherently bad because of the color of their skin. Skin is an organ. We talked about this last week. We all have organs, hearts, lungs, brains. These things count as organs. Your skin is an organ. And some people in this world believe that the pigmentation in your skin is directly associated. Let's see if I can get this in the what's the name. The pigmentation in your skin is directly associated with your character. And this has been an operating tool mentally for the past several hundred years or several thousand years. And now it's time to evolve and come out of there. So this is what I'm trying to talk about tonight on how we do this. Okay, so you believe that someone is a certain way because of their skin color. Again, you're going to make up excuses to not deal with it. I talked about a while ago, we refuse to kind of go inside of our minds and kind of and confront our own paradigm, confront the way we were taught, and so we can make these necessary adjustments. Because if we keep beliefs that have not been substantiated by fact, and these beliefs are separating you from other people, they need to be challenged head on. You got nothing to lose. If what you've been taught your whole life and what you believe in your whole life is true, you won't have anything to lose. Just be willing to look at them. So, again, safe zone. We attach things that that we call by description to the safe zone. Like I said, fire, chair, circle, America, right? Africa, Akubalan, command, whatever you want to call it. These things belong in a descriptive place. Now, let's say Africa. Africa is a safe zone. But if you believe you are associated with Africa, you will attach experience to that, right? If you believe you are associated with Africa, you see that? You guys see this? Yeah, if you believe you are associated with Africa, right? Even if you have not actually experienced Africa, never actually lived there in your actual life, you will feel some kind of way attached to Africa, and you will feel emotional about it. Say what?
People feel that's their home, or that's their home.
Absolutely.
So you're like talking about my house.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And
I've never been to my house.
Right. You've never been there.
Personally.
And here's the thing, it's what I'm saying, guys, is it's not wrong. I'm showing you this is how your brain works. That's simply all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Africa is any less of a home or more than a home of you to you than America is right now. What I'm saying is this is simply how our brain works. If someone asks you right now, where do you live? You're going to say America. Now, geographically, most of us have no clear clue where we live. Like literally where we live on a geographical standpoint, like coordinates, like to really tell somebody where you are. We can give descriptive measures that we have learned. Okay, I live in America. Okay, then I can go from there and give my state. Then I can go and give my city, right? Or my town, or my street name, my community, right? Or whatever. You can go all the way down to naming these things to where you live, but these are descriptive things. It doesn't tell you any more about yourself than anything. I was messing with my sister earlier. She said she was her birthday was in March. I said, "Wow, you were in Aries," and she goes, "Don't attach me to that stuff. I'm Tanya." And I said, "Saying your name's Tanya doesn't tell me any more about you than saying you're Aries." So basically, you attached yourself to a name, but we're just sitting here laughing about it, because she was so strong about, like, don't attach me to that. I'm Tanya. Like, you ain't Tanya either. That's just something. That's your name, but that's not who you are. But she felt comfortable in saying, "I'm Tanya," as if that gave me any real information about her person, her being. No, I just have your name. Knowing your name does not tell me anything about you. You see, like us right now, a lot of us have our feelings or we have emotions about Donald Trump. I'll be honest with you, me personally, I don't care anything about the guy. Like, this guy he never crosses my mind. Now, I can tell you the reason that he doesn't is because I am not on that frequency. I don't focus on politics and things of that nature. A lot of people do. So if they do it and Trump is in front of them and they're watching this guy's charades often, he'll probably get to them. I honestly don't watch Trump. Like, he's not a person that I pay attention to. I don't care anything about what he says. Anything. I actually don't care anything about what Trump says. So that's probably why my days are not so stressed out with things like that. Let's see here. Josh, there was another situation you want to talk about too. The H&M situation, I think.
There's only so many things that happen with that. First, the hoodie. It was first. I mean, I'm just super logical, but again, I don't see the point in being emotional about it. Just like on a bare level, it's a hoodie with like a design on it. It had words. People's, I think you refer to it as like a religare brain, where we refer to monkeys we have a history of being called monkeys, etc. But then you see it now in 2017, and this kid's modeling it, and then we freak out. And it's like, but at the root of it, it's a hoodie that he got paid to model. And again, that's just how I look at it. I know people find it insulting, but the thing is, if people look at you, if somebody honestly looks at that and says something racist or thinks something racist, that's in your head. I mean, that's just to me. I wouldn't see somebody wearing that and think nigger or something like porch monkey, and that's just me. I just see it as a design. I'm not going to wear it, but somebody might like it. There might be a black person out there right now. It's like, dang, I wish I could wear that now, but you can't wear it no more because it's banned. There might be somebody black that thought that was dope. They can't do it no more now. So,
I mean, again, what Josh has said is exactly right. Listen, your experience is that you have been called a monkey. Your experience is that these words have been used at you as an insult, a monkey. But a monkey is just an, okay, a monkey ain't even a monkey. Like a monkey would never call itself a monkey. Okay, a monkey just happy in the jungle with minding its own dang business. They don't walk around saying, "What up, monkey?" Like they don't say this to each other, right? So this is a word that we use to describe a certain animal, right? Now, because you have been told, or you've been, of course, in school, we learn we come from apes and all this kind of stuff, and then we know, of course, as a racial epithet, we get called monkeys and apes. So your experience is that you get called monkeys. This is how they're able to control you. What we're saying is you're not wrong for how you feel, because you can't help your brain. But if you take the time to focus on why you're feeling this way, why is your brain sending you these emotions? Why are you feeling this? Why is your brain upset right now with the information that it's now seeing? You can probably change it. Now, I don't want to say probably, you can definitely change it. I know, because I used to be a victim of it. See, like there was a photo that I shared a while back, Josh, and it was a photo of a Asian girl. And on the shirt, it said like it had cuss words like "F you" or "kiss my ass" or something like that, right? And so I shared it because people was like enraged about what this little girl's shirt said, you know. But she was in Asia, so she probably has no clue what this shirt says, you know. And the fact that so many people were so outraged about her shirt, it's like, why you? It's just words on a shirt. Like to her, those words probably mean nothing. The same way we would buy, you know, a shirt from a store that has you know, Chinese lettering on it, and we don't know what it says. You see what I'm saying? We'll rock it around. It could say anything. So how do we know they're not looking at us saying like, "What is he wearing? Take that off. That's offensive." Say what?
They got tattoos with Chinese lettering on, and that's scary. If you really ain't done your research, that's kind of scary to me. You kind of roll it in dice. That's just me.
No, sure. And we'll get the tattoo simply because in the tattoo shop it'll tell us what it means. And again, we don't go do any further research. We just be like, "Oh, that means love, peace, and happiness." Okay, I'll go get that. And again, it's okay. I'm not saying it's wrong, because again, we don't get into right and wrong on this show. We understand everything as a mental paradigm. So this is how your brain works. This is why our brain is grabbing onto this stuff. So now, again, so we see the word monkey on a shirt because we experience the word monkey. This is why we draw offense to it. Are you wrong for being offended? Certainly not. You're not wrong for being offended. You know, my brother actually made a video about it, and he was saying that, you know, he saw men wear shirts that say the realest nigga. He saw women wear shirts that say the realest B or whatever. And he was like, y'all wear shirts like that are in no way positive about you, talking about yourself. You may use the word nigger in a positive way for yourself, but there are people who look at the shirt and read that word and don't think of it in a positive way. And yet you're willing to wear it out. You see, so that child and other people may not look at that shirt monkey and think of it in a negative way, but you look at it and think of it in a negative way. So it's really no different. If a woman wears a shirt that says "I'm the top B" or whatever, then she is willingly walking around with their shirt on. However, in our world, this word has been flipped to mean something totally different. It doesn't mean female doll, whatever she's saying, and not to her paradigm. She's not walking around saying "I'm the realest female doll." That's not what she's thinking in her mind. But again, that word has become a safe zone word, and we can use this word now, and it's not taken as offensive because we can remove the experience of what we originally thought this word meant was female dog and offensive, and now we can say, okay, I'm gonna put that word in the safe zone because I believe, right? I believe from what I'm seeing now in the world, what I'm experiencing now in the world, that the word B ain't a bad word. I can be a B and it's not offensive, right? I can be a nigga and it's not offensive. Here's what's offensive. It's not so much that, you know, he had a shirt on that said monkey, or a woman wears a shirt that says B, or a man wears a shirt that says nigger, or nigga. The problem was standing beside him was another shirt with a white child, and that said, you know, survival specialist. So, and the thing about it is, whether or not this is accidental, if it was purpose, I think it was on purpose. You got to understand, whether it was accidental or on purpose. I say if it's on purpose, they do it because they know how your brain is going to work. They know how our brain is going to work. If they did this and it is racist, okay, but why act the way we acted? We could simply just shut down and stop buying products from them. Simply, anytime someone offends us, we can make that a career death wish, right? There's videos of children tearing apart one store as if it's going to do anything for the company. These people have insurance, guys. You're not affecting these. We can't affect these people in that way. You see. And my thing is, we don't have to act emotional about it. We can approach these things in a logical way, and we can get them. We can probably get them handled a lot faster by being logical. You see, there's no. I believe it's on purpose. Clamp said, I think it's on purpose. I mean, if even if it's accidental, we're gonna read it that way because our brain is set up that way. I mean, his shirt says survival expert. You know we're gonna feel some kind of way about that, right? Because we know that throughout history we have been projected, or the people who were being enslaved were projected as wild, right? Wild, savage men who needed to be civilized. And the white man at the time was deeming himself as civilized. That's why he considered everyone else wild. Even animals now that live in the open, live outside of being domesticated, we call them wild. We give them this term to this word wild means that they like have no rationale. They just kind of just like the Tasmanian devil, just kind of all over the place. But that's not actually true. They actually have more sense of navigating this universe than we do, and we call them wild. So back then, people were called wild, and they would call themselves civilized. So of course, if I look at that, I'm going to feel a certain way. I know how it makes me feel because I can't. My brain is still evolving as well. But am I going to respond, share it, and do a video about it? I didn't feel it was necessary. I didn't actually feel that when I saw that, it wasn't like going viral the way it was. I think I saw it early. I saw it. It didn't do much for me in terms of like viral worthy, but I see that a lot of people are really affected by it, and that's why I say that we are affected by the small things. That's very small. The incident. It's not necessarily the hoodie. It's what the other child had on beside him. Survival expert, all those type of things. So right, so and they know what they're doing, But I'm saying that these things are distractions, and we bite into them like I say, I had a line where I said the media, they keep feeding us lies, and immediately we eat it up like medium fries. We don't investigate anything. We don't really care to think about what's happening. Okay, why are they showing me this? What reaction is it that they want from us? Right? What are they trying to distract us from? Right, that's what we got to start thinking. We can't be chasing the laser on the wall, trying to run around finding everything that they're showing us. You see what I'm saying? Trying to like rebut or I guess start a movement against everything that they're showing us. Some things don't even deserve our attention. That's my point. At the end of the day, the child's mother did sign a document allowing her child to model. However, she probably didn't see what the other child was going to be wearing beside him. You see what I'm saying? And again, even if she signed it for the money or whatever, we know that if these things are being done, there's no need for us to buy into them the way we're doing. That's the whole thing. They shouldn't be so successful. That's my point.
She didn't care after the fact, though. It wasn't just before. She doesn't care after the fact.
And you can't really fault her for caring, for not caring.
That was during the whole outrage. Like that, they found her. She said, "Y'all need to calm down." She was like, "It's not even that serious." So. And that's the mother. My thing is,
I mean, at the end of the day, what does it really do? What does that child wearing that shirt? What does the white child wearing that shirt? And what does the shirt being on a magazine or on a newsfeed really do to us right now? Any more than poisoning our food, any more than the systemic racism, any more than mass incarceration, any more than pretty much every politician out there not really having your best interests at heart? Like, what really is that photo doing to you? Like, really think about it.
I did like the artistic side of it, where people were doing like remixes to it.
Oh, that's dope! Definitely.
I thought it was cool.
That's a way to handle it. I love the flipping and making it positive.
Right, me too. I thought that was really cool. So if you did that, plus you just stopped spending money with H&M, that'd be good. But you going into a store to tear it up, Absolutely. That's retarded. Like I don't see a benefit to that at all. Like I said, with third party insurance, they're not even going to foot the bill. And all you're going to do is make the employees in there have to clean it up. Plus, if you saw the video, they didn't even really damage anything. They just push stuff over. So all they're going to really do is put the stuff in a discount bin. And what, 60% off, 50% off? What really got accomplished?
Absolutely.
Like there's no harm. So it's just that kind of thinking is really short term. And again, that makes us look bad. If you thought a hoodie made us look bad, I don't know what you think in that video is gonna do. It's like, oh, they look civilized. They don't look primitive. No, if people have racist thoughts, about the hoodie, then they see that video, it's only going to amplify it.
Thank you very much, Static, and thank you very much, Anthony. Josh is right. Listen, guys, if you change the paradigm, put yourself in a white racist person's mind. Just put yourself in their mind right now. Any racist person, any person that's not black, right? Who doesn't see the world from through your lens, okay? Chinese, anything. Imagine them watching the video, then flipping over all the things in that store, right? Now think of the reason why they're doing this in this store. The reason they're in this store, risking their own freedom to go to jail, their own personal freedom to go to jail, was over a mother's decision to allow her child to take a photo for a company. And the photo offended them. And so they're flipping over things in the store. We're sharing it like, yeah, they deserve it. Who deserves it?
The employees.
Who do you think who's really being hurt here? Like those clothes, they didn't even burn the clothes. They just turned over. They just go set the racks back. Okay, they're gone. That shirt gonna sell for the same price. And they get insurance money. And they go and the children are probably going to jail, and you're encouraging that behavior. You're sharing that around. What's gonna happen? Other children who are on Facebook see you sharing it, congratulating it, okay, and they're gonna think, okay, this is a movement. This is what we do now. Next thing you know, they're risking their freedom. We don't think stuff through. We really don't. Again, it's instant gratification, man. Like,
yeah.
I was asking my son today. Instant gratification can come in many forms. You know, we can purchase things simply because we want to feel good, right? So we'll buy something with money we really don't technically have, because at that very moment, those shoes, that outfit, that car, whatever we're purchasing at that moment, that watch, whatever, it seems nice and it does make us feel better at that moment. It's instant gratification. And then what you find out is your long-term goals financially don't seem to be met at the end of years, at the end of the year, that month, or whatever you're trying to do. And then when you look at some of the things that you purchase, you realize you shouldn't have purchased those things. They did nothing for you to help you towards your actual goal, right? But instant gratification. So me and my son were talking today about dieting and things like that. He's having a little hiccup where he's starting to hate being vegan, whatever.
I like how you call it a hiccup. Like, nah.
I like to think of it as a hiccup. I think it'll pass. I'm trying to remind him though, like, listen, son, you done lost so much weight. Like, 'cause he was heavy set, he didn't like his body, stuff like that. He was dealing with asthma. So now he done leaned up. He like himself more, all this kind of stuff. So I'm trying to remind him, like, okay, remember what it was like when you was eating me, whatever. I said, I get it, man. I said, it's not good for you. He goes, but I like the taste of poison. That's what he said. I like the taste of poison.
You sound like me, yeah.
Yeah. But this is what I said to him. I said, it's instant gratification. Okay. If you know something is affecting your health, okay, now I'm talking about long term or whatever. And even immediately. The taste of it would cause you to forsake your health just to taste the food. Right? If this is happening, this is another opportunity to look inside of yourself and your brain and find out why is it that we're choosing a taste, right? Instant gratification over something that is actually would be better for us in the long run, or even right then. And I say this because I have a cousin, right? He was allergic to fish, but he loved fish, right? And he would eat fish anyway. Like, even it would swell his cheeks up, his eyes. He was bad, horrible, like horribly allergic to fish, man. And he would eat it anyway. He didn't care. He liked the taste. Me personally, I wouldn't have eaten it if it's gonna swell my eyes and face and throw it up and stuff like that. And his throat would be itch. Think he'd be making weird noises all night, like he got a hair in his throat. But it's really just irritation.
I think it's two things. One, I think from like an addiction standpoint, I think people are attracted to things they can't have. It's like, if they said you can have everything but ice cream, you can eat everything and lose weight and look good, but if you eat ice cream, it's like, oh, that's the one. So now your brain is focused on ice cream. So you can have all this other stuff in the world, all the fruits, vegetables, ribs, all these other gluttonous things you get want. But if you want ice cream, that's like the main thing you'll think about. Mm-hmm. And then the second part is obviously you have an addiction to it. It's something you enjoy. So it's like nobody's banning you from eating broccoli. Like nobody will care if you ban broccoli, but it is one of those things that people enjoy. So
Sure, and at the end of the day, it does taste good.
Hmm. I think it's probably good. Well, it would have been good if you started him off like young, like to not eat meat and things like that, and he wouldn't have that in his body, obviously, just because that temptation wouldn't be there. But you know, that's how it is.
Right, I agree. I agree. I'm trying to find this comment, Josh. Someone said that I agree. I think they did a good thing.
Hmm?
Trying to find that.
Who did a good thing? What?
I think they're referring to the children who were
Trash the store?
trash the store. I think they said they did a wise thing.
that's
And I
I hope they're not wise. I mean, good
but
thing is
I think that's
definitely
what it's, I think that's what I just wanted to deal with the comment because I wanted to really think about what they're saying. Like, okay, Camila Brown, okay, Candy. I think they did a wise choice because we don't like jokes. We can burn the place down. I'm assuming that you're talking about that they could just burn the place down. Um,
insurance
but what,
again.
what I'm trying to say is what you're talking about. We live in a world where you have to pay for the decisions you make. So to say that they did a good thing, that's selfish. These people are these they're not walking away from this like you are, just seeing a video saying, okay, that's the right thing. Like they're gonna have to pay for this. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna probably have criminal records. This not good. Like we shouldn't put our freedom, our future on the line for over a photo. Like you got to understand, like if they go to jail, if they get a record, that's going to affect them going forward. You know how this world already is. They're already looking for a reason to hold you back. Why would you give them a reason over something like that? That's what I'm saying. That's not a wise choice. It's not a good thing anyway. It doesn't help. I think you're thinking about how it made you personally feel. Well, it's funny, man. Like, think about this, man. If you stump your toe and you turn around and you hit the thing that hurt your toe, it's an inanimate object. Why does your brain respond this way? You're not crazy. You don't deserve to be thrown in a mental institution. Why does your brain respond? Why do you look at whatever the thing was that you got and just you want to punish it, right? So
Retaliation.
right. So you seeing these children turning over these things in the store, you say that's a good thing. It's only because in your mind it makes you feel some type of appreciation for seeing something being inflicted back on them. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, they getting what they deserve, but they're not. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about a sales department, okay, who put together this ad, knowing, and again, I'm assuming here, they're gonna stab in the dark, knowing. I'm gonna say knowing though, knowing what they were doing, simply because this has been done in the recent past. Man, this is not new. Come on, man. It wasn't 2 weeks ago somebody else had a racist ad out with Dove. Man, you don't understand. They're doing this stuff purposefully. They know you share it more. Everybody gonna know who H&M is now. When this die down, people gonna still be buying. I already see memes of like black people looking weird, like when you get caught inside of H&M. You see, and they laughing like I know because I'm still gonna go there. It's not affecting everyone the way it's affecting you, and most people around you are going to act like they're offended because you are. Most people want to be most people. Trust me. They love to it. Like if you were to get people to raise their hand in a room and answer a question, they're going to answer the question that more likely suits everyone in that room. If you ask them a question one-on-one, they will probably tell you how they really feel. Most of the time, you're worrying about what the next person will say before you truly answer to how you feel. And that's not a way to live. That means you're an adult still basing your life and your decisions and actually your mental paradigm, okay, off of what other people still believe. Now, you did this with your parents. This is what I'm saying. As a child, your belief system is your parents. You get in the car with your parents, you sit in the back seat, you take no thought for where you are going. You know your parents are going to get you there, okay? My daughter was riding in the back seat with me today, and I was thinking to myself, my daughter is completely depending on me. She knows nothing about life. She knows nothing about life. And so if something happened to me, I know my daughter has to be thinking, man, without him, what would I do? This tells me that there's more I need to teach my daughter, right? Because I know I won't be around forever. But I'm saying that to say this. My daughter is completely comfortable with depending on me. She shouldn't be, right? Because people fail you, even if they don't try. I mean, if they're not trying to fail you. We're not perfect, right? But my daughter is more than comfortable with daddy doing everything for her. when I don't even know this whole word. You guys hear me say this stuff on the show often, that I'm 36, coming to a place in my life that I don't know crap that I should have been known by now. Okay, so when you're trying to move over into an entrepreneurship and understanding business credit and things like that, that stuff is a whole new world to me. I don't even type. I've been standing up being in sales, so all this stuff is a whole new world for me. I've been working for people, clocking in, know nothing about actually running my own business on a scale like this online. You know, people ask me often, hey, how do you promote yourself? I don't even know. The only reason I have a platform is because y'all jokers come and y'all care what I got to say. I have no idea how to do it. Josh helped me with a lot of stuff. So believe me, I don't know anything. Thank you very much, Mr. Really Real. But again, I'm not comfortable with what I know, yet my daughter is comfortable with what I know. You don't see how that's a problem? Because
it's sufficient.
Absolutely. Now, at some point, my daughter is operating off beliefs. She believes in me. She believes in me. Now, my daughter's 16. So my daughter does have experiences. So she's not as dependent on me as she used to be. Right? My daughter can get up and go cook her something to eat. Right? She can prepare her food. Things that she used to couldn't do. She depended on me for those things as well. So she doesn't depend on me for those things now. She depends on me for school clothes, things like that. She doesn't have a job, right? She depends on me for advice, but as far as her homework, she don't come to me no more. My daughter's very smart. She knows how to study on her own. She makes straight A's. But so she is growing up. And as they grow up, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to branch off into experiences from beliefs. Now, we do this with our parents, right? We branch off to our total experience from our parents. Remember back in the day, or anytime now, Josh, I'm sure there were things that your mother would have said to you at 10 years old that you would agree with, that you won't agree with now, right?
I don't remember anything. Me and my mom didn't talk, bro.
Okay. Well, a guardian, anybody.
Mom, yeah, that's how I'm antisocial now.
Let's just say, for example, my grandmother taught me, she believed in superstition heavily, right? So if we were walking and this was a pole, and I walked on one side of the pole, and she walked on the other side of the pole, she would make me come all the way back around to walk around her side of the pole because she believed that it was bad luck. Okay?
Superstitions.
Right. As a child, I didn't argue with my grandmother. When I watched her facial expressions and her mannerisms, as serious as it was, get around that pole. She said, get around that pole, and I knew she was for real. I got around that pole. I didn't ask, right? So I never asked. In fact, my grandmother is dead now, and I have never asked her about why in the world do you think that pole is going to do anything? Like, why do you believe in that? Now, if my grandmother were alive and she would have asked me this today or tell me that I'm splitting the pole, that's what she called it, don't split the pole, I would tell her that that's ludicrous because I don't operate off her belief system no more. You see what I'm saying? Wow. I have evolved, and I wouldn't even care if she was mad. I'd be like, Grandma, frankly, that's silly. I don't really understand how you got to this point. You're grown. You probably shouldn't be thinking like that no more. I don't even know how you've got this far with that mindset. That's what I would have said to her. My grandma made it to being an old lady, thinking that if you step on a crack, you break your mama's back. My grandma literally believed it. She went her whole life believing in crap like that. She never challenged it. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about when you're watching watching an adult with a childlike mind. My grandmother was fully capable of taking care of herself. If my grandmother was alive, I could call her right now and ask her for any recipe in the book. She can cook anything. But my grandmother operated on a childlike mental paradigm. She still operated in the realm of beliefs, and she believed them over experiences. Do you really think that, why is the pole important? Grandma, do you not think that I done walked on the other side of a few blades of grass at least? We walked through a whole field just to get to the store we walked to. You don't think that she walked on one side of a blade of grass and I walked on the other, a stick, anything. But I got to come around the pole. Why the pole, Grandma? You see, I guess if it was tall, Grandma noticed it. If she could see it, though, you can't go on the other side of it. And we learn real quick, Josh. That's what I'm saying by with no experience of anything negative ever coming to you. when me and my brother would walk, my brother would say, Kevin, don't split the pole. And I wouldn't split the pole, even for my brother, because my grandmother was the person this directly came from. We believed that it was really something that was going to happen to you. It wasn't like a rule. If it had been a rule, I'd have been like, man, grandma ain't here. I do what I want to do. But it was like, don't cross that pole. Like, the devil going to come. I don't know, a candy man or something. I didn't know. All I knew was that in her mind, she believed that that some kind of way, if you walk on the opposite side of that pole, it was going to be bad luck for you. She believed that. Like I told you, one time we sat outside the house in the cold for hours because she believed that the day after this certain holiday, someone else had to go in the house before you. You couldn't be the first person to go into your own home. And we had to sit outside on the front porch after getting dropped off out of a dialysis van, okay? And we had to sit on the front porch for hours until her daughter pulled in the yard to unlock the door, and her own door, and let her in which she had the keys to. And I couldn't go in because I had to be an adult. It had to be a grown person. So she wasn't playing about this. She really believed it. And she was grown. You see what I'm saying? And again, her experiences would have to tell her that's not true. That's not fact. But she didn't challenge them. She still believed that if you walked on the other side of that pole or whatever. This is why I'm saying it's important that we don't give our children too much of our beliefs, but we want them to learn based on their own experiences. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, we understand beliefs and experiences have something very unique in common. Neither of them equal fact. Neither of them equal fact. Your experience does not equal fact. And your beliefs certainly don't. Okay? Let's see if I can. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so your belief does not equal fact and your experience does not either. This is the part that we can't seem to understand. Here's what happens. When you have a belief, you're going to try to associate your experiences to line up with the belief. Therefore, with religion, if you believe in Jesus, okay, if you have been taught that you're going to go to hell forever, if you do not accept belief in this God that supposedly died for your sins over 2,000 years ago, when you're told this as a child, there's a fear. Okay, you are a sinner. It's not your fault. It's Adam and Eve's fault, right? It's not your fault, but you are a sinner and you must repent sincerely and ask God to come into your heart and be your savior. Okay, this stuff grows on you. Once you believe this, you feel doomed to hell because if you believe it, you know that you doomed to hell if you don't accept Jesus, because this is now your mental paradigm. You now believe in this. You're part of this belief now, controlling your paradigm. Okay, now, if you believe in this person that supposedly died for you, you say these words. The pastor says to you, "Repeat after me, our Father," and then you start repeating after them, and you start repenting from your sins, and now all of a sudden you're finished with this prayer. And you feel this good feeling in your heart, relief, if you will. Your immediate thought is to connect that feeling of relief with the actual idea, the belief that you have been literally saved from eternal hellfire. You believe that because it feels good when I repent, I feel safe when I repent, I feel like I'm not going to hell anymore when I repent, that it means that the person you asked to forgive you was really on the other side listening and forgiving you. This is what we believe.
And you have an invisible ally on your side.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to look out for you and get you a job and keep you safe when you drive, and you don't have to look both ways when you cross the road.
And you have an answer to where you came from. Now you know you was made from clay and breathed into by God himself, right? This is how you was created. So now you have a creation story. The world was made in 7 days. Whoop-de-woo-wah-woo-woo, right?
Yeah, you don't have to go to science class. You don't have to learn anything about biology. You don't have to listen to any of that weird, boring stuff. Just all presented in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple.
It's really simple, man. So now, at that age, whenever you're most curious, when you're asking all these questions, right? Where do babies come from? Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Really, Ice Cube?
Yeah. right in your adolescent state when you're asking all these questions, they give you these answers to your existence. You know, this is going to satisfy your curiosity, and you accept that answer. You know, at that state in your mind, you can't fathom how in the world you could have got here had no one not did whatever thing they just told you. If they had told you you were created by aliens, okay, and placed here, you wouldn't have denied it. As a child, you would have took whatever your parents actually believed in. You would have. You wouldn't have questioned it at all. If you would have been told that what we live in right now are actually biological or biochemical bodies, right? Suits, if you will, that our consciousness is going to inhabit just so we can live in the atmospheres on Earth. And we're really from another planet. We're just going to create these bodies, and they're going to be so biologically advanced that the uniforms themselves will be able to reproduce. You know, so we're going to create these uniforms, and we're going to insert our consciousness into them, and we're going to be able to roam Earth, right? If someone would have told us that we actually just live in these bodies as consciousness, and when our body died, our consciousness went somewhere else, you couldn't deny that. In fact, you could not disprove it. And by now, you would most certainly have that as part of your belief system. That we came here simply to test Earth out or whatever. You would have believed it. No doubt about it. It's just an experience for you. I mean, many of us have these type of beliefs now. Again, we do beliefs because they make us feel more comfortable. We're always trying to make sense of things. The fact is, though, like I said, belief along with experience, neither one of these constitute things as being a fact. The reason I say that is this. Okay, so we talked about fire a while ago as being hot. And you know, fire, obviously, it's a fact that fire is hot. To me, of course, you know, Josh may have a higher tolerance for pain. You see what I'm saying? So he may be burned. A certain temperature may not burn him as fast as it would me. A lot of men joke about how hot women keep their showers, right? How hot women keep their tub bath. We step into it and it burn the crap out of us, and they're just fine in it. You know, so you know what's hot is hot. I remember Josh. There was a guy who debated you one time, trying to tell you to judge God based on the temperature of a room or something like that. Experiencing the temperature of the room.
Oh no, I think it was what is truth? He was like, what is truth? It's like, it was, what is absolute? There has to be absolute. It's like, no, not really. I mean, and then I gave the example of if my girl was in the room, she would say it's cold because she always said it was cold, but it wasn't. But it just takes perspective.
Watch this. Okay, so I'm gonna write this down so we can see this. This right here should actually make sense. Okay. So Josh said if he's in a room with his girlfriend, right, and she says it's cold, he may say it's warm, right? I feel just fine, right? Or I actually feel like it's hot in here. Hey babe, let's turn the air on. No, it's already cold in here. What you mean it's cold? I'm over here dang near sweating, right? Which one is truth? Neither one of them are lying. Do you think Josh is going to just make it colder simply because he just want her to freeze? The man is probably really warm. Okay, now the girl or his girlfriend, right? Do you think she's lying just to keep the man hot? No, she's probably really cold, right? But what's truth, though? Because neither one of them are lying. Here is truth. Before I put it up, I'm going to see what everybody else says. It's the riddle, guys. A man and a woman are in a room arguing about the temperature and how it feels to them. Okay? Both of them believe what they're saying. How do we know which one is true? How do we know which one is right? And then I'll show you guys what I wrote. Somebody said that's why I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress that solves that sort of dilemma.
That's smart. That's a smart investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I used to sell those.
Especially if you're married, that's a smart investment.
Mm-hmm. And Yuan said, this happens to me too. My lady always cold. She always have it hot. You cold, okay. Somebody said neither is. Both are right. Both are correct as to their experience of the room. What we're talking about now is what's truth. Okay. They both
I think I answered it too.
Okay.
I think I answered it in my debate or whatever if you
Okay.
want to call it that. I don't call it a debate. It's like a waste of
I'll,
time.
I'll let you say it before I show mine.
It might have different answers. I just said if the temperature is the temperature, it's 73 is 73, whatever 73 means to you. So
go.
that's
What's truth,
that's
right?
Yeah.
Because what the man and the woman would be doing is arguing their experience is truth. Hot and cold, hot and cold. These are experiences. These are feelings, right? There is no truth in hot and cold. These are descriptive ways to describe how you or something else feels. Hot, cold. These are not facts, remember? So these are not, neither one of them are telling the truth. They are telling, they're speaking about how they feel. But what's truth? Josh said, the temperature is the truth. The thermostat is the truth. The truth is the temperature on the wall, because there is not a hot or cold related to that. It is simply showing you what the temperature is in the room. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find a way to remove your experience. Okay, because me telling Josh, or Josh telling the lady in the room, or telling his girlfriend the temperature of the room is not going to make her any more warm, is it? And her telling Josh the temperature of the room, listen, man, it's already 73 degrees in here. Why are you cold? That's not gonna, he's not gonna say, oh, it's 73. Oh, okay, cool. And then just be cold now. That's not how it works, right? It just doesn't work that way. So outside of how you feel about the truth, you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to get this work like everybody else. What's true? And then align your life with that, okay? What Josh can do is look at the heat and say, okay, it is 73 degrees on the wall. So baby, I can't fault you for not being cold. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna turn the air on a little bit. Do you mind putting on a jacket? Because I can't figure out a way to get cooler because I just have a t-shirt on right now, right? Maybe they can come to some type of agreement and work with the room. But the temperature, man. Say what, Josh?
I know, I was just agreeing with you. Little guy said the woman is right. The woman is always right, which is actually kind of true. It just kind of compromise. It avoids conflict. That's good. That's usually good. Smart man.
But again, speaking from what?
Yes.
Speaking from what? Experience.
Yes,
and not even necessarily experience. You may not even have a wife or have a woman living with you, and you will still say the woman is always right because you've heard it over and over. This is the thing.
True.
Being in sales, man, you hear this every single. Just all you men out there, just so you know, when you guys are going to buy something, okay, and your wife is with you, you don't have to call her the boss. You don't have to. Okay, I don't know why. It's just I know what with me, 90% of the men I deal with, they love to do that. They love to call her the boss and say she's always right. Happy wife, happy life. And here's what's funny: the women who hear this be like, I know that's right, right? Here's what I'm trying to say, you guys. That's a negative stereotype on women. It really is. It's to imply that if you don't get everything the way you want it, you're going to just create problems. Happy life, happy wife. I mean, happy wife, happy life. It's to imply that if you don't do everything to make your wife happy, she's going to make your life not happy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But we okay with that, because you get to you win. You get to win from that stereotype, right? You get to get stuff. Happy life, happy wife. So we're gonna give you something,
Nah, not all the time. But yeah, I do hear that often.
Yeah, definitely. And men think they're so unique in saying it. My wife's the boss, or happy wife, happy life. You're not unique, sir. And I gotta laugh about like, yeah. That's how I always feel, man.
I hope we never get to a point where we fake laugh each other. I hate that.
Yeah, me too, man.
Just so I don't have to do that.
Nah, man. I try not to utter like repetitive phrases that have no. I honestly challenge myself all the time, man, just to keep from doing that. I was gonna say something to you guys. I can show you this. I'm gonna pick back up on my chart where I was. So.
When you finish your point, I wanted to touch base on something I think we might have skipped a little bit, or at least I wanted to cover or get your thoughts on.
Absolutely. All right, so watch this. What I have here is neutral, emotional, and cultural value. So there are things that we are all neutral about. Okay. Let's see here. Does anybody have a problem with the word sink, right? Or faucet or water, right? These are descriptive words. I don't think any of us have a problem with that, right?
Probably not.
Probably not. Bear, right? Deer. Giraffe, we don't really care, right?
No.
Have we ever cared if a giraffe likes to be called giraffe?
I never asked. We've never asked. This is the truth.
You're heartless, Josh. You need to start asking stuff, man. You don't know. You don't know how they feel about this.
I wish I did.
A bear might be a deer. Just imagine that. You know, yeah, like I'm the deer. You call him the deer. What's wrong with you? Like you a deer? I'm gonna tell you right there, dude. If bears spoke up right there and said they was deers, would that not be hard for you to accept that? You'd be like, I just can't. But you don't look like a deer.
That would be interesting. I wish that would happen.
But see, it just proves your mental paradigm. You would look at him and be like, you don't look like a deer. What is that supposed to mean? I'm telling you, I'm a deer, dude. Like, what you mean I don't look like a deer? What you mean? Somebody told me I don't look like a Kevin. What the heck is that about? What? You don't look like someone's mother would name you Kevin. What? All right, so we get that there are things that we don't really care about. They're neutral, right? Names of animals, things like that. Now, emotional though, there are names and that we do care about. Emotional, so racial epithets. Number one, we know we don't like those type of words. We associate those with our emotions, right? Curse words, because we have been taught that certain words have some type of power sprinkled on them by the magic fairy man. You say certain words, certain people will gasp, right? But I mean regular cuss words, right? Typical what words that we call curse words, right? Right. Which is
Kevin can't say bitch, by the way, guys. He's really sensitive about that word.
Right. I've never in my life called a woman that in my entire life. My grandmother would kill me. She'd come out of the grave and kill me. Like, y'all want to see somebody actually rise from the dead? If I say that, you will see something. You'll see that happen. Trust me. I would just cut you off. Like I just would remove myself from the conversation before I ever call. Honestly, before I call anybody a name, that's just not something I do. I don't. I call it spew poison. I don't think there's ever a need to call you a name. Like that, to me, it's just that's a child response. You know, I'm mad at you, so I'm gonna be like, "You're stupid." Like I don't need to tell you that, man. That's crazy. I don't like to hurt people. I'm not gonna say something to you and have you dealing with something I said when you need to be worried about your actual life. Like what I need you dealing with something I done said to you. You over here hurting because I said something to you. Like I just know that the brain works that way. We take words and a word can destroy you, or a word can make you go do great things. Simply somebody telling you they believe in you, or somebody telling you they proud of you, can make you go out and accomplish a whole lot. And somebody telling you that you suck at something can make you give up on your dreams. I don't want to be the person to say something to anybody to make them give up on anything. So I'd rather walk away knowing they insulted me before I say something and hurt them. Like I just ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you very much, young Elvin. So emotional, right? And I say this from experience because I had a lot of things said to me that hurt me. That hurt me. You see what I'm saying? That I had to deal with in my life and grow out of. You know what I'm saying? Didn't love myself for a lot of years off of things that people said to me, words. You see what I'm saying? Not so much of my daddy not being there, but it's things that was said to me that hurt me more than that. You know, my mother died when I was 3, but it's things that was said to me that hurt me more than that. So I know that's what you say to someone is very important. So you need to be careful what you're saying, but at the same time, it's a brain problem. Whenever you hear a word and it makes you feel a certain way, that is the problem. Isn't the word. The problem is your brain and how you associate the word, how you were taught to receive that word. This is what I mean by who is your puppet master. Someone says a certain word and you say, oh, I can't believe he said that word, right? For instance, okay, over here in this certain demographic, what we call America or the Western side or whatever, we have this word called faggot or fag. This word is used as a slur, okay, against homosexual people. Okay, it's a word used to attack them and make them feel a certain way. But In other places, this word is simply a cigarette. A fag is simply a cigarette. It's simply a cigarette. Look it up. It's actually not a bad word at all in some places. In some countries, it is actually considered offensive to wave like this, like we wave over here in this demographic. So it's how you see things. It's not necessarily what the word is, it's how you have been taught to receive that word. Emotional. So we dealt with neutral, we dealt with emotional. Let's just say curse words, right? Curse words or racial slurs. I'm just going to say slurs. Now, cultural value. Now, this one right here I want to really talk about for a second. Because this, remember we talked about the 3 circles, right? Or the 2 circles with experience and belief. With experience, you learn your body because you look down, you can see your own body, right? You look down and you see your own body and you don't feel any negative way about your own naked body. Never once have you felt this way. Never once. Until you were taught that the body was, certain parts of the body were rude. Now, if you see a picture of a hand, it won't offend you. A picture of a foot, it won't offend you. However, if you see a picture of a body part that we cover up, it's going to offend people, okay? It's going to bother people because we have been taught, they covered our eyes even when people were kissing as children, right? If we were children and people were kissing, I'm talking about natural things that adults do when they feel affection for each other, they cover your eyes. Yet, when someone's getting shot or a horror movie, they don't cover your eyes, you see? So we really have been taught to care about what our children receive when it comes to sex, right? Or anything sexual. So things like a kiss, things like that, we actually kind of shun that. I don't know if you guys saw this. There's this show on Netflix where this kid drew a bunch of penises all over everything. You ever saw this, Josh, or the clip or the thumbnail or whatever for it?
I saw Super Bad when there was like a flashback and the dude was drawing dicks in class. It was super funny. I don't know what else you're talking about.
Okay, there's a show on Netflix where it's like who's drawing the penises. He's like drawing penises, like graffiti penises. I think so. But it's like he's drawing penises on everything, right? And everybody's like so offended by it. But in all actuality, he's drawing a body part that all males have. You know what I mean? So we've all seen one. But however, in our world, in our paradigm, it is offensive. Okay, it is. I mean, when a woman shows her nipple right now, everybody gonna feel offensive. Well, most people will feel offended. When in certain parts of the world, they don't care nothing about that. You see what I'm saying? So cultural value. We have developed a sense of value and we attach it to the culture we live in. People say all the time, how can you have morale without the Bible? How can you have morale without Jesus Christ, right? The Bible is literature because that's the only Jesus Christ they know. I asked the question, why is it more wrong to kill a deer to kill a dog than a deer? Now, we're talking about simple morale, and people were not able to think outside of their cultural morale. Everyone, Josh, you were there, or not everyone, because we had a few people that say both are wrong. And neither one would be better than the other, right? Killing a dog is not worse than killing a deer, right? But most people said killing a dog is most certainly worse, right? Because in your paradigm, you believe that dogs are pets, right? You have a connection with a dog. You grew up your whole life hearing man's best friend, right? All these things.
Movies with dogs.
There's movies for dogs, absolutely. Now we got a couple for deer, but we don't keep deer as pets. And also in this demographic, we eat deer, right? We see deer as food, yet it is still an animal. It has every bit of right to life as your canine, right? As your Canis lupus, whatever. So it has every, and I'm just saying that because that's another name. We call it a dog, but we know that other people associate it with different names, right? But you're going to feel some kind of way closer to your hamster than you will your rat. You'll have a hamster in your home, but if you find a rat in your house, you're going to, flip over all the sofas and put out traps, right? Our brain is set up these ways. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, definitely a mouse is going to bring a lot of bacteria to your home, but we're not thinking that. We're thinking rat. We're not thinking, it's going to bring a lot of bacteria and it causes us to get sick and things like that. We're thinking rat, hamster, two totally different things. You know, cultural value. We don't really have a sense of morale outside of literature and our cultural value if you're not a free thinker. This is why we try to talk about you have to be willing to freely think. You got to think at one time the majority of the people thought that slavery was okay. Okay. And it wasn't frowned upon to even own slaves. You weren't even looked at as a bad person. However, we have evolved now, so we now understand that slavery is definitely wrong. But there was a time where this stuff was okay. You have to remember this. They had actually laughing barrels for black people. You could not laugh in public. You had to stick your head inside of a barrel to laugh, or you could be hung. Okay, so this was something that was in the open. They had different water fountains for black people. So believe me, there were times in the world where people didn't think stuff was wrong because nobody thought it was wrong. Everybody want to be everybody. Don't forget that. You can be somebody who's in a world where you probably would have never been racist or anything like that, but because you grew up around those people, you now adopted their paradigm. I'm saying that you don't have to stay stuck with it. You can challenge your mental paradigm. The same way you adopted beliefs from your parents, your religion, the way you see people, the way you see the world, you can actually challenge that and change your mind. And when I always say, if you change your mind, you did change the world. If you change how you see the world, is not the world changed? It's changed, right?
Absolutely.
If you change how you see the word nigga, you will no longer be offended by it. The word nigga didn't change. I thought about it one day. I was like, is it possible to evolve to a certain state of being to where the word nigga won't bother you? To where any words aimed at you would not affect you? Can you evolve so high that words no longer bother you, right? You no longer have to be offended and hurt because somebody at work said something to you or doesn't like you or whatever, because it doesn't have anything to do with you. You see what I'm saying? Thank you very much, Tim.
I'm at that point. I don't get triggered, but I couldn't care less.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
It's not even so much the word. It's just
right.
It's the person who says it. It's like, I don't care enough about you to really care about what you have to say.
Like your opinion literally does nothing to me.
Right. Yeah, it's like Trump makes a comment like, I don't respect Trump, so why would I care? If he was somebody I respected, if he was like you or somebody I listened to, Jamar or Tariq or somebody, if somebody I respect, and I don't know these people, other people like, Jamar, or I know Jamar, but Tariq and stuff like that. I have more respect for them than I do for Trump, though Trump has he's a president of the United States. But I don't care enough about Trump or respect him enough to really care about his opinion. He could say, I love chicken. I don't care. He could say, I love sunny days. I don't care.
Me at all. I care nothing about it.
If he says, I'm Josh Upshaw is a lazy nigger in Cincinnati, I don't care. Like it really doesn't matter to me at all what he says. So then I treat other people, strangers, the same way. I don't care. I don't know you, so your opinion doesn't hold any weight or value to me. So that's just how I look at it.
Josh, you're absolutely right, man. I was with my son one day, and a guy pulled up. He had this big old truck. He had his rebel flag on the front of it. He had the rebel flags back of the truck. I mean, flying high. And I showed it to my son. I said, son, I want you to see this or whatever. I said, you're not gonna care about this now, of course. But you get older, you may. And you'll see a lot of people who care, who are literally their whole day will get tore up because somebody rode by them with this flag. Now I'm gonna tell you, they have their reasons for carrying this flag. Some of them is hate. Some of them believe it's part of their heritage. What I'm telling you is you don't have to feel any personal way about this flag. If you see someone carrying this flag or wearing this flag, simply walk by them like they don't even exist, like they're invisible. You don't have to pay attention to it. You don't have to feel like they trying to bring back history because they have a flag or anything representing that era, that time frame. You see what I'm saying? Them wearing that flag does nothing at all for me at all. Like I'm gonna go home and live my life the same way. They have no control over my life, my future, or not that guy, not these people. So it's like, why even give them your time? Why even give them your phone? I feel like we deserve to that time is for you. The government already get your time, or your company get your time. So you already got to go to work and work and stay and things like that. You don't have enough time as it is to yourself. That's your time. So don't give unnecessary stuff your time. That time can be used to focus on you, evolving, moving forward in your life, becoming a better person. There should not be a moment of time wasted on worrying about a person who's sitting beside you in a car, a flag that they have hanging from their window or their truck or whatever. Shouldn't bother you. Just keep on driving. Somebody said keep pushing on. Absolutely. It should not have any effect in your life or over your life whatsoever, literally at all. Like literally at all. It should not affect you. But it does, and we allow it to, right?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say that goes back to the negative energy people so desperately try to cut off. You allow it.
Right.
You allow things that don't matter to affect you. So it don't matter what you cut off because you're gonna always be presented negative things. It's just like when I'm dying, I'm gonna always be presented bad foods that I shouldn't be eating. It's like if I don't know how to control myself, then I'm gonna fall for it. You have to control yourself and regulate what's going into your mind or your thoughts. Absolutely. At least. And one thing I was gonna discuss, why do we care what Trump thinks? Like, yes, he's the president. That's just his title that he holds. It's just the title that he holds. Just like when Obama's in office, like, you don't have no real power. Well, people say different things now that Trump's in office because money talks. But anyways, as far as a person, why do you care about Trump's opinion if he did say Africa's a shithole? It's like, that's his opinion. And I've seen people from Africa that agree, like, Africa is a shithole, and there's people that disagree. Africa's not a shithole. Okay, it's just an opinion, like, from all sides. Who cares? Whatever the situation is in Africa to individuals, the situation to the individual. I'm not even there, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other. That's just me. But
and this is why I said we have to critically think. Like everything you're saying right there, Josh, is 100% fact. There are people who say that Africa isn't a place where you want to be. There are people who disagree with what Trump said. Here's the sheer fact. Trump's statement was made out of a completely illogical place if he said it. Okay, right. He's not from these places. Trump's not in these places. Exactly. So how can he say that they come from? How can he say that? Look at where Trump came from. They didn't come from a successful place. If you look at his background either, and people actually migrate to different places because where they live in is not good. So to say something like we don't want people who come from crappy places is silly. Like if you're saying we're opening it up to give you a better life, a better world, who's going to be moving to America if it's not better than where they came from? I don't see anybody moving to America from Dubai, okay? I don't see people moving to America from places where they have free health care, and all those type of things where they don't have to worry about the things we have to worry about here. It's just not going to happen. So for you have to think when someone's saying these type of things, they are coaxing you. They know how you're going to respond. This is media. That's what you don't understand. Why is this information right here so much in dire need to get to the people when they have passed laws that would make you 10 times more angry than Trump saying that people come from crap holes, right? And people say people say why you don't cuss? You scared to cuss? I got kids in the next room, so I don't believe in cuss words, but I still respect my kids. I raised them my whole life not to cuss, so I'm gonna stick with that. Well, I'm gonna stick with not cussing in front of them. And plus, it makes my show a whole lot easier to stomach. A lot of people actually are thankful that I don't cuss often on my show. There's not a whole lot of cussing on my show. A lot of people come to my show. They still are in religion. So when people are in religion, they do believe that cuss words are bad. So if they hear those cuss words, they just gonna leave. They can't even stay for the information. And a lot of people are recently out of religion. A lot of people want to tell their children to watch the show as well. And I want to be able to keep it to where they can actually listen to information. I don't necessarily have to cuss. I've gotten really good at not doing it. Being in religare my whole life. I thought cuss words was real cuss words. So I've gotten real good at not cussing. So it's helpful to me to not curse. Just so you guys know, for people who say, man, you don't cuss. People try to make me cuss. How are you gonna make me cuss?
I remember people were mad when you did the video.
and I cussed in the video. I was like, oh my God, I just can't believe you cussed. Man, people are being enslaved and you care about me saying a cuss word. Please stop. Please stop. So I'm gonna give you guys another example here. Josh, while ago when I was writing, you said there was something you was gonna go over. Did you already say it?
Yeah, like just wanting people's what is it? what's the word I'm looking for? When you want people to like you, like I want you to favor me. I'm looking for your favor. Like, cause I had somebody on my wall saying, you know, this they did this to the store because Trump said these remarks and H&M's racist, and it was like a whole compilation of things. I'm like, I don't see how Trump's remarks are going to change watching this video of these kids trashing this H&M store. And it's like they're standing up for themselves after Trump's remarks. And it's like, well, I just don't understand why people fight for, and just like I said, I don't care what you say automatically if I don't
Mm-hmm.
know you and if I don't know you and I don't respect you, I don't care. And you can be a good person or a stranger. You can say something I don't know. I just don't care. But these people
Absolutely.
really go out the way to try to get, you know, attention and love and like from Trump. Like that's the last thing I'm looking for approval. Thank you, Paul. Looking for approval from people like he's your dad or something. Like it's like like really like they look at like Trump's your dad is like, but we've done so much. Like, but this is the Haiti, like the war, we fought in the war, we did this, South Africa. Like, he don't care about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. So what somebody's ignorant. So I don't understand. I just find it weird. People are looking for approval from Trump of all people. And we know Trump is stupid. Everybody knows Trump is stupid. During the election, everybody's talking about how stupid Trump is. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
it. He's immature, he's stupid, he's a jackass, he's selfish, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then people are outraged when they hear these remarks in 2018, knowing what he was like 2016, 2015. We've been knowing, like, so what are you outraged about?
And then some people overlook what he's saying. See what I'm saying? Because they like
Also
him,
a good word.
right? Right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. Josh, did you make your point? I don't want to cut you off.
Yes.
All right,
No,
cool.
absolutely. I did.
So watch this right here, guys. I'm gonna show you the paradigm again. I told you at the top is belief. In the center, this time is gonna be facts. And at the bottom is gonna be your experiences, okay? So the Bible is perfect. This is what we're raised to believe. We're raised to believe the Bible is perfect. So therefore, when the facts are clear that there are definitely contradictions, right? You say, because you already have this thought in your mind, the Bible is perfect. So when you see the facts that there are direct contradictions, you say, I must be mistaken, right? I must be misinterpreting it. I must have the problem. It's not the Bible, it's me, right? Now, the problem is now you're at a standstill because you're debating what you clearly see in the Bible and what you've been believing your whole life, right? God is good. God waits until Eve eats fruit to punish the whole world with death. But God is good, right?
All the time.
But God waited until the Israelites built the golden calf. Now, Moses was up on Mount Sinai for like 3 months. Nothing happens. He waits until they build the golden calf. Now, God is all love, right? I like how you say all the time. I'm going to say it again. God is love. Josh, you following off. Okay, there we go.
I was rubbing my eye. I'm sorry.
I was rubbing my eye. You can't talk at the same time? Dang.
Nah, I'm focused on my eyeball right now.
So listen, guys. God is good, right? But on Mount Sinai, thank you, Josh. All right, so
every time you say it, I'm gonna do it now.
All right, bet. He could have. Now here we go. Let me just start it over. God is good
all the time. Yes, sir.
But he waited till the Israelites built the golden calf so he could have 3,000 of them slaughtered. Now here's the problem. God knew they were going to build a golden calf because he's all-knowing, because the Bible teaches you this, right? The Bible makes God out to be all-knowing in the book. Now, when someone like myself or Josh or anybody else on here asks a person who believes in the Bible, if God is good, how is it good to sit there and wait until somebody build a golden calf just so you can kill him and prove a point when you could have stopped him? You could have had Moses up there a day less, a moment less, anything less. You could have stopped and told Aaron to tell them all to stop, not to build a golden calf, anything. But you did. You could have actually just not got mad about it and said they didn't know no better. Let me give them a chance. But he did not. He responded by having 3,000 of them killed. But God is still good
all the time.
There you go. And because because there's a direct contradiction with the facts, what you see in the Bible, and what you've been believing your whole life. And the problem is you can't relate to experiences because you have zero. You have zero. All you have is what you created. You have no experience of Jesus Christ, literally at all, other than a book. Factually, there are no bodies ever discovered of any character that's relevant to Jesus Christ in the Bible, ever. This is a fact. A fact.
Now the thing is, though, people have traumatic experiences in life. Like often people say on our page, either it's a real, a sad story. Like my friend had cancer and doctors said they didn't know what to do and she was a goner. And then, 2 weeks later, she's out. You can't tell me God ain't real.
Okay. Experiences, right? Because we don't have any, but we have what we latch on to. So let's talk about that. Okay. Experiences. Why? Tell me experience with God. Well, my aunt was sick. She almost died. And now she's alive. So her living, her surviving is your experience to Jesus existing. Yes. Okay. My mother had cancer just like your aunt did. My mother died. What does that mean for me? Well, it was her time to go to heaven. So wait a second. Why pray then? Why pray? If you're going to die or go to heaven anyway, because it's either your time or not anyway, then why even pray? You see? And again, once you get to the bottom of this belief, you believe in this because someone was once sick and now they healed or they survived. Okay. The problem with this is this. There are many people who believe in different gods for the same exact reason. Someone was sick and now they are healed, which proves you have no direct experience to your God, the God you believe in. There is no direct experience to that. Yet you have adopted the belief that he's perfect. You don't even have evidence that he exists. But you already have adopted the idea that he's perfect. You don't see how this actually makes you more attached to the idea itself. Thank you very much, Michelle. You don't see how that already makes you attached to it itself. For instance, let's say Josh is a single man, right? Josh been single for 3 years, right? Josh, I come to you, I say, man, I got a woman for you, brother. She bad, super bad, right? Now, you don't even know if this lady exists yet. But if I tell you she's super bad, you like, bruh, set it up. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, granted, your emotions are already attached. You got excited when I said she bad? All right. You see what I'm saying? Already you feel, did that make her exist?
No.
Not at all, right? It doesn't matter that you got your hopes up because I told you something. It doesn't matter. If I told you that girl could save your soul or she died 2,000 years ago, your excitement over me telling you that without you having any information on this girl's actual true existence does not make it any more factual, does it?
I don't know.
Now, it doesn't deny your feelings. If I tell Josh this girl was super bad and he starts feeling like, oh, okay, I can't wait to see her. Like, you got a picture? Like, show me something. He getting anxiety building up. That doesn't make the girl exist. What I'm saying is we have been taught that Jesus Christ died for our sins and we mad because we accepted that before we accepted that he existed. Like, he didn't exist. He couldn't have died for your sins. It's impossible. You see what I'm saying? But, and it's hard to hear because we have already made it a fact in our mind.
Yep.
You see, it's already a fact. Now you realize that the way you make facts is you cannot use, beliefs to make facts. And now you're mad because your whole brain has been set up the wrong way. Your whole life you've been taught to associate experience with fact, but that's not how you do it. That's not how it's done. You can't experience God and know his name. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you, man, like there was a time in my life where I was pretty wild, okay? I've slept with a woman or two, and I don't know their names. I experienced them. I don't know their name. I don't know everything about them. You see what I'm saying?
Did you say I experienced them?
I experienced them.
Yo, that is the funniest thing I have ever heard.
What you talking about?
I experienced. Yeah, I'm gonna start using that.
I mean, that's what
You
it
know,
is.
you're like, yo, you see your sister, bro? I experienced it, bro. Oh, that's gold.
but
That is cold, bro.
but the simple fact is this, man. Listen, you can experience cocaine. It ain't gonna tell you what it is. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We talked about this. You go off your experiences, and you say your experience is fact. I give Josh a needle, and I tell him it's crack cocaine in it. He's never seen crack cocaine before or a drug in his life. He takes this drug, and he feels this exhilarating rush come over him, this rush of dopamine. But it was meth. So I tell Josh it was meth, and he know it was crack cocaine. No, it wasn't, Josh. It was meth. Now they done pulled Josh's blood, and they're telling this dude clearly it's methamphetamines that's in your system. No, it was crack. Listen, dude, you can argue all you want. I know it was crack because I experienced it. You experienced a high. It doesn't tell you what led to the high. You experienced a high with Jesus, with the idea of Jesus. You see what I'm saying? You don't understand that what led to your high is your belief, not Jesus. You just was taught it was Jesus. If it was Buddha, if it was Muhammad, you would have had the same dopamine rush to your brain if you thought that joker saved your soul. If I told you there was a God named Ong Bak, okay, and he died for you 2,000 years ago, you would have accepted that name. That name would be the sweetest name that you knew. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Why is Jesus the sweetest name that you knew? Why was it once the sweetest name that I knew? Because I thought that was the name of my Savior. Then when I found out the letter J wasn't even invented yet, I was mad. Why in the world would your name not be Jesus? I felt emotional towards that. Why did I feel emotional towards that? Because I thought somehow that name Jesus, that and pronounced in that way, that two-syllable word, had power. I thought my whole life that if you just say that word, demons will have to flee. I thought my whole life when I was scared of the dark, that if I say that name over and over, it comforted me as a child. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. Jesus, 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 over and over. I felt good as it. My pastor would say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus over and over in church, and you will see people all of a sudden start getting excited. If I promise you, if church was really boring, everybody quiet or whatever, he would say, and honestly, I don't think he even knew what he was doing, but he would just say, I think we done forgot, pretty much what God has done for us. Just begin to say his name, and everybody will just start saying Jesus, 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 and all of a sudden you hear somebody in the back, run around, somebody jump up, you look around, snap, somebody else, and before you know it, the whole church going crazy. Only for me to find out this dude's name wasn't even Jesus. See, I didn't find this out after my pastor had died. You know how mad I was, bro? So why is everybody feeling this Holy Spirit, so to speak, and running around the church off of saying the name Jesus? And it was created by the Roman Council of Nicaea. Why is the word Jesus powerful? Is it just your association with the word, or do you really think the name Jesus is powerful? Now, if we have all,
that's what everybody else says, so it must be true.
Yeah, it's the name above all names. It's the sweetest name you could ever utter. And I promise you, bro. Thank you very much, Bobby. As a Christian, and when I had this absolutely it is baby. You are begging. But again, like I was saying, guys, like when you have this paradigm, it's very difficult to confront it. Because when I first heard that, Jesus' name was it wasn't Jesus or whatever, I was upset. Not necessarily I was upset with people for changing the name, but I was more upset not admitting it, but internally I was more upset with who I believe was God. Because I was just like, why would you allow somebody to change? Like, why would you give someone and trust somebody to put your book together only for them to change your name? So obviously I'm looking up. So what's the name of, what's Satan's name? And obviously it's Ha-Satan, or still Satan, pretty much. Translate to Satan, pretty much. They don't change his name. And so I'm like, they didn't change his name, but they changed Jesus's. I'm all mad because I've had my belief, not just from reading in the scripture or reading in the Bible that Jesus was. Excuse me. I didn't just read his name in the Bible. I thought that experience was a way to make fact. So I took my experience and I solidified my belief that his name was Jesus because it was in the literature. So if I read his name was Jesus and I'm watching everybody get excited to run around the church from hearing the name Jesus, I thought that his name most certainly had power because the Bible says there's power in the name. And I'm watching these people say this name and they seem to be feeling power. I think I feel power right at that time. So obviously, I'm going to think that this proves that Jesus existed 2,000 years ago. You see, now that sounds silly because I understand my mind is more developed now, but that's religare brain. Again, religion comes from a Latin word religare, which is to hold the mind back. You know, Josh, if you don't mind, let's throw a link out. I'm gonna give people some time to call in. We're gonna get off at 10.
Okay. Let's see.
Thank you very much for the digital.
Appreciate it. Trying to experience Eden. So that is the most player thing I ever heard.
What you mean? Don't say that, man, because people gonna start saying player. Like they gonna start associating my character.
It's pretty funny.
Easiest way to say it without being excellent. But we're using the word experience, John. So I'm using the word. We're using the word experience a lot. So when I say that, I mean, you know, I experience. That's what I mean, Josh. Okay. See, this is a perfect example. Josh is associating emotions to the word experience.
Nah, I just love.
He said it's the most player thing. You just put a whole new meaning on experience now.
Yeah, that's the most pimp word.
That is not a pimp. It's just a word. It's how you see the word.
Nah, because you made sex sophisticated. So like, the word sex is like super smooth and sophisticated now. It's like I experience. Like it was an experience. It's a good word.
It's not an experience, right?
Your terminology is cold, Kev.
I appreciate that.
All
right, okay, cool.
You experienced some females you don't remember. It's cool.
Funny, man. Not true either. I mean, not true. God isn't true. Let's get back to it. I want to say this right here. I wrote this down. Actually, Josh, let's do this right here. Throw the tour up for a second.
And, throw the
tour up. Let's remind people. All right, guys, you see this? That's Irving, Texas, February the 9th and 10th. Houston, Texas, February the 23rd through the 25th, so forth and so on. Please screenshot this in your phone, and please come out and support and help us do it big. All right. The first event obviously is in Texas. I really need as many people as I can there. It would definitely help me out to feel more comfortable. I'd love to see you guys. LeSean, speaking of Texas, here's LeSean. Thank you very much, brother.
Want me to take the picture now?
Yes.
All right. Sex sophisticated. See, I like that word. Eden comes up with sexy words.
Eden always come up with something super cold blood. Always. I think Eden calls her people passionators.
Passionators, I think. So.
Passionator.
Like Terminators.
Passionators. I think that's right. Give me a thumbs up if it's passionators, not passionators, like senator. I don't think it's like that. I think I'm right. But Eden got the facts.
Yeah, the facts. Who's right? Who's wrong?
Ali was on here earlier trying to come into the room.
I sent the links on YouTube and Facebook. Jacob's here.
Okay, cool. Bring Jacob on real quick. Jacob actually gave me. Jacob, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, brother, welcome on.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I think how the human mind in its early age is very gullible to the point where because it doesn't really yet have the ability to comprehend things for itself and do things for itself, the young average person relies on their parents. So if that parent tells that child of theirs a belief system that is different from many other people's, and they tell them that if you believe in this God, you're going to be saved, but all these other people that believe in false gods, they will not be saved. And every single religion around the world tells that to their children, and in a similar stance, which results in a violent, I would like to say, a war of words, in which people demonize each other and attack each other's character for simply worshiping another god.
Now watch this. One second, Jake. I'm gonna have you pause for 1 second. I'm gonna do something. All right.
You see how she wrote it? Passion, a tours. Passionate tours.
I think it's passionate, right?
No, hers is ERS.
Huh?
Passionate tours. Passionators.
Passion, ATORS.
That's why we need you on the show, Aiden, because then you can help us get this settled once and for all. So.
All right, so look, Jacob.
Yes.
I'm gonna show them something. So you have your parents right here, right?
Yes.
Your parents. Now, if I drew a turban on this guy, we'd say he's Muslim, right?
Right.
If I put a yarmulke on him, right?
Yeah.
Then he'd be Jewish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So forth and so on. But let's talk about the child here. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna circle this belief system over him. Because what Jacob is saying is that the child is consistently having his beliefs filled by the adults, not facts now, but he's learning from his parents that whoever believes in his God is right, and whoever doesn't is wrong. Passionators, I'm right, Josh. So, look, you can tell that mattered to me. That really means I'm right. All right. So they are consistently contributing to his beliefs, right? He's not fact checked these beliefs, no nothing. He's simply relying on the people that he trusts that is right. And they're telling him that out of all 4,200 religions, we are right and everyone else is wrong. What is that child going to believe? I'm sorry, Jacob. Jacob, go ahead and finish out. I'm gonna show this image while you're talking though.
Basically, that child is going to believe that his or her parents are correct, because the parents, in a sense, are the child's God, in the sense that the parents know more than the child does. The child is dependent on the parents.
Absolutely.
And this is the same relationship with every single child around the world. And I think that's a problem, and I hope that one day people will begin to realize the fallacies that each religion has and how they're no different from each other. Mm-hmm. We have no proofs that any character of any religion actually exists. We have no proof that there is a God that exists. It would be pretty difficult for someone to prove it, practically near impossible. And even if someone were to prove that some kind of God exists, why would it want to be worshipped? It doesn't make any sense. And another thing I wanted to talk about was, you were talking about earlier how the news can kind of spread negativity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people like to listen to fear porn when they get off to hearing all these bad things that happens on the news.
Oh, fear porn?
Yeah, some people use that term, fear porn.
I like that. This is good. This is good. I like this.
Yeah. Thank you. Basically, the news knows this. They have experience. They have experiences with these things with their audiences, so they know that people are gullible in that way and vulnerable in that way. And the thing is, other people do not think about the positivity that happens in this world. Also, the news constantly keeps you frightened every day, and they don't have a balance between the bad things they talk about and the good things they talk about.
I know.
And people tend to care more about the bad stuff than actually being proud of the good stuff.
Well, see, the brain is set up to protect itself. So if it sees something that makes it feel fear and that everybody else should know about it, they're going to share that quicker. See what I'm saying? So so crap is always going to spread way faster than good news. When someone's doing well for themselves, you see a good video, a positive video, you're gonna have certain things associated. A lot of people don't even want to see you good or anything. When it's something negative, man, it's not something that someone is going to. They don't have a reason for withholding that share or that like or whatever, that comment or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we're built to run to drama. We at work, you see people they seek it out. They said and they've always introduced themselves with, I ain't for the drama, but drama always seem to find them though. You see what I'm saying? And it's crazy, and they can't help it. They find themselves in those situations because they feel like they need to make it their business. For instance, I don't like negativity, but if someone says something negative about you, you have to ask them why they said it. You know, I'm gonna say this real quick, Jacob. I was at the studio the other day. Now, I don't know if I'm right, but there was a song that I really had just wrote it, and I could not get the words out. So my beat man or whatever, or my engineer, he keeps having to play the beat back so I can kind of grab the beat. And I could have sworn I heard somebody out in the other part say, "Dang, that was whack!" Like about one of the lines I said. When I'm sensitive about my music, I'm sensitive about anything I put my time into. But I'm not gonna get mad at somebody. It would bother me because I want my stuff. I want everybody to like my stuff, right? I think every artist wants every person to like their stuff, but we know that's unreal. Feel me? But my thing was, I could have walked out. I really wanted to walk outside the studio and be like, man, I'm paying for my studio time right now. Get out. Like, I don't even want you in because I don't like that. Feel me? But I said, really, what is that man sitting out there really going to do to me? I can let this man bother me, or I can choose not to let him bother me. I went back out there and sat down after I finished my verse, let my engineer work on it, and treated the guy like I just didn't hear that. And I got to a point to where it's like, it's not important what that guy thinks about a line I said in my song. If he bought my album, it wouldn't satisfy my financial problems. If he bought it, you see what I'm saying? So why would I even care or get drawn into how this man feels? Now I could have went out there and be like, man, who are you to tell me I'm whack? And then I don't even know what kind of person he is. That could have turned into a whole serious thing, and it would have been ridiculous. Because why do I need him to think my music is good? You see, but when I first heard it, it did offend me. As soon as I heard it, my defense mechanism kicked in. So I'm like, man, who are you? You know, number one, I'm not even sure he said it. You know, but I know how I felt when I thought he said it. But why go out there and act a certain way? It was offensive to me because I would have never said he was whack to him like that. I don't see a need to say that, but I also don't feel a need to get mad about it either. You feel me? I was going to show this too before you started back. Now you have this child now here that learned from his parents, now meeting another child. He has a little what's name on. See that? He's Jewish, and he's so now he's screaming to the Jewish child, telling him he's wrong. And the Jewish child is confused, like he's never even heard of anybody telling him he's wrong before. All he's ever known in his life is Jews. That's all he's ever known. He never heard of Islam or a Muslim. What is that, right? I've never heard of any of that. You telling me I'm wrong about what I believe? Well, sir, I think you're wrong. Before you know it, both of you guys are sitting here having a emotional argument about something that neither one of you have facts on. Neither one of you have facts on, like at all. But you're willing to stand there, egotistical, and argue about a belief your parents gave you. You see what I'm saying? And now you stand, and these same people now, we stand and argue, and we call ourselves arguing for a God that doesn't speak up for itself. You see what I'm saying? We find ourselves arguing for this God. You don't know God. God is ambiguous. God is he's unique in how he responds. He's mysterious. We find ourselves trying to speak up for this God. You know, like you said earlier, though, if a God created you, why would you praise it? Why do you need to praise it? That's a good, honest question. If it was truly the God of the universe, why do you need to praise it, though?
Because I'll burn in hell for eternity if I don't, and I won't get to go to fluffy heaven.
It's really stupid. It's the logic in it is so flawed that a all-powerful deity would need worship at all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Some people tell me Well, it's because it wants respect. Well, if you look at the definitions of the word respect and worship, that's different.
Absolutely.
Not the same thing at all. And you take a look at these religions, you look at how similar these stories are and how they're based on previous cultures that took place before them through continuous plagiarism. How can people not see that it's the same story being retold in a different way? Many, like the flood stories, they're very similar to each other.
But see,
Now,
again, you have facts now. It's simple facts that these stories run neck and neck and have many similarities, parallels even, direct parallels to other stories, right?
yes,
But you're still dealing with the overwhelming belief still. You still haven't gotten rid of that. This is what I mean by when you grow into the adult stage, when you truly evolve, you're supposed to operate on less of what you think about the world and more of what you've experienced about the world. This is how you get by. It's like this, man. It's almost like you and I, for instance, if you've been to a place a million times, you know how to get there. You know it like the back of your hand. They always, right?
yeah,
You're getting there based on experience. You're not getting there based on your neighbor giving you directions anymore. The sad part about is beliefs. You're a grown person still using beliefs and what other people are telling you about other things that you've never been to or witnessed at all, beings you've never saw or had a real conversation with at all, and you're trusting your belief system still over your actual logic. So you say the logic is flawed. I would venture to say that there is no logic when you're dealing with the Bible. I think you're supposed to get rid of all logic, and even when they understand that, hey, these stories are synonymous with other stories, these stories parallel other stories, they still say, well, these stories are false. These stories were put there by Satan. You know, when they learn that beliefs or in religion is bad for everyone, they try to come up with reasons that religion is good. We say, well, religion was used to conquer people and take their land. Well, religion made me a better person. Did religion really make you personally better? Did religion make you personally better? Listen, there are people who, when I was a child, I used to steal. When I was a child, I used to be on drugs. I got saved and now I don't do drugs anymore. There are also people who, when they were children, they stole, they were on drugs. They got old enough and realized that stealing is wrong, drugs are bad for your body, and they changed their life around. Who do they give their thanks to? You see what I'm saying? And they still made the same exact changes as some of these believers did. But they like to believe that the religion itself done something for them. You see what I'm saying? That's like to think that going to the gym is what gets you in shape. It's not. Working out is what gets you in shape. Dieting is what gets you. Simply just walking in there ain't going to do nothing for you. You can believe working out will get you in shape all you want to. Until you actually physically do it, you're not going to get the effects of it. It just doesn't. Life doesn't work that way. It's sad. I wish it did, because I would daydream about doing workouts all day, but it just don't work like that.
and that takes us back to another issue. People, for some reason, fall back to their beliefs when they're confronted with facts,
Absolutely.
and they demonize the evidence. And like the gym is a word that is attributed to a place where some people go to exercise. You can also do it at home. You can also go eat right, or basically eat healthy food and try to stay away from too much sugar, any of that stuff.
Sure, change your diet.
Ice cream. But some people say, "Oh, I read the Bible, and I got all this from Jesus." Like, you're telling me Jesus put the ice cream in your mouth, but that was you doing it to yourself. Why are you attributing all the actions that you commit to yourself onto a character that you cannot prove exists? And even if he did exist, how do you prove he is the Son of God? How do you prove he really died and rose again? How do you prove all these points? You're skipping ahead.
Absolutely.
And every religion does that at the end of the day.
And it's funny. It's the brain. Remember earlier we talked about. I drew the circles and I talked about been raised to believe black people are bad, right? Or negative in any kind of way. When you meet a black person who doesn't seem to fit your negative stereotype paradigm you've been taught, they make excuses, say, well, maybe he's just a good one. They should be more like him, or I know one or two good black people, whatever. These are excuses we make up. Now, again, we do the same thing with religion. Okay, you have been taught religion is always good. Someone doesn't agree. What are you going to do? Demonize them, right? Because they're saying something that upsets your paradigm. You don't, even if they're saying facts, these facts are foreign to you. You've never heard them, so you're gonna deem them as demonized, because your Bible and your current paradigm teaches you that if anybody is saying anything contrary to you, it's not about if it's facts. If anybody's saying anything that's different than what you have already been taught, right? They are an agent of the enemy, right? They are the devil, a false prophet. Even. This is what Christians
Antichrist.
think. Absolutely, an antichrist. So whenever you telling them the truth, it's not the truth that's hurting them. It's that it's something different than what they have been told. This happens in many things, man. For instance, you take people who grew up believing that they were a superior race. A lot of white people who grew up believing they were a superior race. Now, in light of facts, they feel uncomfortable learning that they are not, in fact, superior, right? But why would that make you feel a certain way? It only makes you feel a certain way because you already had accepted the paradigm of being superior. You see, if you had never adopted that idea, it wouldn't offend you. You see, I don't need to feel superior to anything. Human beings, number one, we have a superior type of mentality about us because we were taught that we were given this earth, and the universe is built around us, and and we have dominion over it. So of course, we don't mind going and killing an animal just to wear its skin, or just to put its head on our wall, because we believe some kind of way that it belongs to us somehow. Again, but if you look at the simple facts, we are not superior. If you take humans off the planet, the earth would actually be more vibrant. See, but we still live by this idea that we are the pinnacle of intelligence, right? The pinnacle of Earth's beings. When facts say that's not true, I would actually go out on a limb and say Earth don't like us that much. don't really like humans that much. The humans would probably be like cancer to them.
I believe that all life is equal. We are all living and trying to strive in this world. No matter if something is an animal, a human being, or a creature in the sea, we're all trying to survive. We all need food. We all reproduce. And practically do the same things. Now, yes, humans have been classified as more intelligent than, in a sense, superior than animals. But does that mean we should go out, kill a deer, and stuff it on our wall? No. Why would we do that? Why is it okay? I don't understand that.
Well, and here's the thing: what makes you more superior? If we say we're more superior intelligent, why? We can build an airplane. Well, the eagle can fly. It has no need for that. That we build cars. A cheetah can run 65 miles for a very long time. Wouldn't need a car. We're saying intelligence. I guess being able to build things. And don't get me wrong. But I say that the human being has the potential to be the pinnacle. I'm not saying being superior, but I'm saying to be the pinnacle of intelligence. Absolutely, the human has the potential to do that. But if we're willing to, I think our brain has been held so far back. It's really hard to reach that potential. We still, like I say, most of us are still dealing with beliefs, and then the other ones of us are trying to relieve them from belief, rescue them. Those beliefs holding them back. They don't want to let them go. I mean, you tell somebody hell don't exist, and they'll get mad at you. Like how you mad because a place that don't burn you forever and ever doesn't exist? How are you mad about that?
And by default, I would argue that religion is actually immoral. Now, of course, religion also has its own morality, but that only goes so far. For example, I take a look at Christianity, and if you did something very bad, you can go confess your sins and say three Hail Marys. So you're telling me if a pedophile priest goes out, rapes a child, and he goes out, confesses his sins, he believes in Jesus, and when he dies, the priest gets saved because he believes in Jesus. But the child, the victim who happens to be an unbeliever, is going to go burn in hell forever and ever and ever because he did not believe.
Essentially, and even if he does believe, if he doesn't forgive the priest, he would go to hell. And people don't see how crazy that rule is. And then to understand when you get older, the idea of a parent punishing you in a way that it's eternal just sounds ridiculous. In fact, in this world, when there is a parent who wants to hurt their child in that way, we call them a psychopath, sociopath, right? So if any parent, and no parent would put their child in a burning fire forever for any reason. People look like, if you're a parent in your right mind, if your child murdered someone, you wouldn't put your child in hell forever. Since you love your child, you're just not going to do that. So to think that some God who knows everything and has the power over your soul could have kept you from killing that person, raping that person, but would watch you do it just to put your soul that he created and loved you with all his might, just to put you in hell for it, it just doesn't sound right. He obviously didn't even care about his investment. He never even directed you, never spoke to you one time, never cared enough to even speak to you once before he let you go to hell. Me personally, if I love you, I ain't going to just let you go down the wrong road. I'm going to try to call you and reach out to you several times if I care that much about you, to try to make sure you don't go down the wrong road. I would actually vocally express myself and let you know I love you. I don't want you to go down that road if I love you. However, if this God that Christians believe in, the God that Muslims believe and Jews believe, neither of these gods have came to me personally to tell me, hey, I care enough about you to speak to you, tell you that if you don't get it right, you will have to burn in this so-called place called hell. And if they did that, if God stepped out right now and revealed itself, I would be like, okay, I believe it. As of right now, thank you very much, Shante. As of right now, I do not, apply myself to those beliefs because there is no facts at all to substantiate it. We only connect to these ideas due to our lack of knowledge, our ignorance. In our ignorance, we grasp onto God and other ideas like that because we don't know the answer. So we rather just say somebody did it. Jacob was talking about giving credit to, Jesus over and over for something that you did yourself. If I hire Josh as my personal trainer and I hit my goals, they say, dang, Kevin, you look great. I may say, man, trust me, want to get in shape? I'll let Josh. This joker, he know the right stuff. Man, he kept me on my diet. He kept me encouraged the whole way. That's about a person that literally exists, though, right? And I can thank Josh for staying on me. You see what I'm saying? But I cannot mistake that it wasn't Josh who put the muscles on me. It wasn't Josh who broke my muscles down and helped them heal back. That was my diet. That was my actual working out that broke my muscles down, and they had to build back stronger. And I had to eat the right food so they could build back adequately, right? I had to eat the right food so my body didn't go into what they call a catabolic state in the midnight hours and eat my muscle that I had built that day. These things I learned from Josh. He gave me the information to do these things, but I had to do them. And yet now I've hit my goals. So I can ultimately thank myself. You see what I'm saying? Because I took what he taught me and applied it. And now I have this look that I've always wanted. And I can now probably personal train someone. Josh and I were talking the other day, and we were talking about, people love to call each other teachers and, pastors and things like that and give them a title over them. But you don't realize when you give a person a title and you put them over you in that way, that title is almost immovable. You call someone your teacher, they're always going to be your teacher. You call them your pastor, they're always going to be your pastor, father, so forth and so on. And I say that it's okay for someone to be your teacher for a time frame. But at some point, you should learn and be to a point to where maybe you know as much as they know or more. And maybe you can go out and be somebody's teacher for a time frame until they go out and learn more. But I think that we, because our brain is lazy, we love to attach ourselves to somebody who seems to care more about studying and getting the facts than us. And we start leaning on them on everything they say as if that is a fact. You see what I'm saying? And,
I would agree.
And many public speakers, many people who are known today are honestly okay with that. They'll tell you, do your research, but a lot of them are okay with you believing everything they say. That's why I try to tell people all the time, don't take what I say as fact. I can only speak through my lens. I can only speak through my paradigm and how I see the world. I can never see the world through your eyes. You see what I'm saying? So a person who is racist, for me to stand there and fuss at him or argue with him about how he sees me would be, but literally, it's stupid. And I'm using that word in an actual way to use the word. Look it up in the look the definition of it. It's literally stupid. It's dumb to argue with somebody based on how they see you. They were taught to see you the way they see you. You see what I'm saying? You can't change their paradigm at that moment. So arguing with them and calling them a bad person for being racist, it isn't going to help you or them, frankly. They honestly have a mental problem and they need help. The same way as a religious person needs to be freed from religion. They would, for lack of a better word, they need to be freed from the racist type of thought because they have adopted these beliefs based on no evidence or no facts at all.
The religion definitely has its ways of inflaming racism on others.
Absolutely. They also give us more reason, Jacob, to even attach to these beliefs. What I'm saying?
Right.
One second, because I know we like to go. Josh, did anybody else call in?
No.
Okay. Well, I said I was gonna be getting off at 10:30, guys. Hopefully, you guys got something great out of the show. I take from your donations, if it's okay for me to do that. That many of you were, and I understand for a lot of you guys don't have it right now and things like that. You guys always let me. This isn't time. This isn't a certain amount you have to have every week. We understand that we're trying to change the world and move forward and wake our people up, and we know that money is needed. It's unfortunately for the demographic, the matrix we live in, we do need the fund. So I do thank you guys. Thank you guys for helping me replace the laptop. I'm going to get some final thoughts, but I'm going to give Jacob, our guest, called in, a moment to say something. Let him go, then I'm going to say something. Rock and roll.
I think it's important that it's time to set our differences aside from definitely primitive beliefs that we, as a species, tend to hold on to get us through life. And people believe that, well, religion is the way to salvation for the next life, and that this God over here or that goddess over there is the reason why I got a job today. Or some dude could say, I stopped doing cocaine because of Jesus. But these are all things that they did themselves. It wasn't Jesus, it wasn't anybody else. It was just them doing it themselves. And it's time to stop judging each other over a different belief system when no one's belief system is that different from each other. They all don't have any way of proving that they are the correct religion. And no matter what skin color we have, we are all humans. We're all humans. Why are we criticizing each other, demonizing each other, and attacking each other's character over religious beliefs, skin color? And in some ways, some people practice the same exact religion. They just have a different version of their interpretation of that religion, like 30,000 different denominations of Christianity. And they still attack each other, even though they believe in the same God. It's stupid. Yeah. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
That was actually very powerful, Jake. Thank you very much, brother, for calling in.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That was powerful. None of us have proof. None of us have proof. None of us. So why even argue it? It's not wise. It's counterproductive. Not going to get. Now, of course, obviously, we do it because we have a motive. Oh, to free people from nonsense. Religion is not good for us. But away with it. Know that praying to some God outside of yourself is not going to change the situation. So we move away. Josh, is there anything you want to say before I get my final?
Yes. As far as our topic today, be mindful of the energy, not just from people, but of yourself, what you entertain and what you share. Like this whole situation, as far as like the H&M and Trump, we made this blow up. The reason why it's such a big deal. If somebody just saw that in the newspaper and didn't share it, it didn't go anywhere, it would have died. Nobody would have even known. you and I, nobody here would have even known. Nobody looks at H&M catalogs, at least not that I know. So be mindful. And if you guys say you want positive things, people always say they want positive energy, share positive stuff. People say they like this show, but they don't share, they don't donate. And that's up to you guys. I mean, we're just gonna keep doing our thing. We're not hurt, we're not crying. But if you say you like the show or you say you like positive things, even if it's not our show, if somebody else is doing something positive, share positivity. If this was a 2.5 hour stream of Kevin getting beat up by Crips because he's wearing red, y'all would share the heck out of it. It'd have 30, 50 million views tomorrow if Kevin was getting beat up. But we're talking about positive stuff. We're trying to get people to challenge beliefs. People don't share it. And we got people like all these negative rappers, and Cardi B blew up being ratchet. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one thing. That's why I want to do a video. We'll do it. I think we should do a video like talk versus actions. This take action when you talk. When you say you want something, take action. Don't just say it and then your actions reflect negatively or don't reflect what you say. So put energy into positive, and don't just say you're cutting off negative energy if you're not going to be putting something into positive. That's it.
To build off what Josh said, he said that a lot of people, they say out of their mouths that they know, but they when I talk about things, some things are worth it. Like he could have just ignored this age. When I have people come to my pages or come to my, I really support what you do and I believe in it. I know they've never done it. Do you think I'm going to argue with them and make them feel bad for not donating? I just play it off like I believe they have. There's no need in me arguing with them. Like Josh is saying, if many of us said that H&M, this was an attempt, this was on purpose, right? This was purposeful. If it was purposeful, what reaction do you think that they wanted? Okay, now do you think they were successful in the guy? I would say they were. They wanted an outrage. They wanted to have their name on the map. And many of these places look at it like this: any publicity is good publicity. Now H&M is being talked about as much as anybody. So they have made themselves a name, and we helped them, did it for them. They insulted us, and then we gave them a gift. Now, we have to realize what people are doing. Think about what people are doing. Every time somebody says something to you, it's not necessarily to hurt you or to make themselves feel better. It's to get a response out of you. You can't be that bull chasing the matador. We got to grow up. My final thoughts are this. Let's pass on the very best of our knowledge, not the very worst of our unexplained dogmas. So I'm going to say that again, unexamined, I'm sorry. I'm going to say that again. Let's pass on the very best of our knowledge, not the very worst of our unexamined dogmas. And I'm going to make that my next Facebook post, so you guys can see that and pass that on. Let's pass on the very best of our knowledge, not the very worst of our unexamined dogmas, because that's what we're going to do with our children. Pass on the very best of what you have. The very best of what you have substantiated, learned in your life that has helped you grow. Do not pass on your dogmas, the things that you believe in that you have no proof of. Pass on what you know can be tangible to your child and can really help them in your life. Do not give them fairy tales, okay? We see how bad this can help. Hurt. This can be detrimental on the human brain. It can keep it from evolving. Don't do this to your child. If we all agree that we want to see our children move further and exceed us, then don't give your child the rocks, because when they try to get in this water of life, they're going to drown. It's going to at least weigh them down. Those myths that can't be substantiated, those are stones. Those are not helpful. The child cannot digest that. It's not going to give any nutrients to the child. That's GMO. All right. So we're going to call facts real food. We're going to call myths and things that you haven't substantiated. We're going to call that kind of stuff GMO. And that HMO, all that stuff is GMO. None of that stuff is really needed for us to move forward. We already know people don't like it. We already know people like to try to, even as media is going to try to distract every one of us, black, white, Hispanic, Chinese. If you live in America, in the world, there is a media trying to distract you from what your government is doing. We know that 100%. So let's not help them. Okay, we know that there are people that's racist in the world. We don't have to be shocked when we see somebody do something racist. We know it, like we already know it. So again, the name of the show, the name of the segment was called Who is Your Puppet Master? Remember this, guys. We have beliefs, we have experiences, And then we have what we call safe zone, which is where we attach words to things. Emotions is when we attach how we feel about certain words. Okay? Beliefs is when we attach what we believe about certain words. Jesus is a word, but what you believe about Jesus is going to change everything, right? So nigga is a word. What you believe and what you personally have experienced with the word nigga as a black person or a person who classifies himself as black, it's going to be something totally different than a person who goes under the description as white would experience the word nigga. They can simply say something like, how come I can't use it? They don't think about how you feel when you hear them say it. Not black people say it. They don't understand your brain is set up to receive nigga in a negative way. And when you hear it from somebody that doesn't look like you, they don't really understand that we're all robots. What we need to understand, though, is that we are robots and that we have to work on our brain. Always be thinking. Always be challenging yourself. All right? Let's evolve and let's have a better world. I'm going to say that quote one more time. Let's pass on the very best of our knowledge, not the very worst of our unexamined dogmas. Right? I love you all, and I guess we'll see you guys back here next week with another show. And we'll get into it. And remember,
Absolutely.
guys, let's show them the what's the name again?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Show them the tour.
Yes, sir.
All right, so before we get off, guys, Irving, Texas, February the 9th and 10th. Houston, so forth and so forth. And if you don't see you up here, don't worry about it. We're gonna be taking some demographics, some polls. We're gonna be in the areas where most people want us to be. All right, so we feel like we can get the most attendance, the biggest turnout. That's the cities we're gonna be coming to. Keep your eye on that.
Oh, and I wanted to say this earlier, but we were just kind of flowing with the show. People were like, Kevin, come here, come to Oklahoma, come to LA, come to over here to London, come to Africa. We need you here. We need support. Again, this all goes back to support. And also, too, we have our first Patreon goal is to get Kevin to travel around without any additional charge to you guys. You guys wouldn't have to pay show fees if we were getting the support. We have, again, almost 120,000 followers on just one page, and we're asking what we need, maybe a few thousand supporters for that, and we haven't got it for about a year. So when people ask, why are you charging, Kevin? Why are you I had somebody, I hate to prolong the show, but someone was like, Kevin, you shouldn't expect any, do it for free. Why, if this is something you love and you're passionate about it, why don't you rent the venue and travel and do all this for free? Where do y'all think this comes from?
I gotta stay in a hotel. I gotta get gas, go to fly, everything. How can I do it for free when it costs me? That's crazy.
And they did on the Paula video when she used the Bible to pimp you out your money, a whole month's salary.
Exactly.
And they're like, you're asking for $25 for tickets. But how can you tell you she's bad for? I'm like, I don't know. And these are conscious people. These aren't even Christians. I look at their profiles. They got unks on and all this Africa Black Fist. I'm like, we can't win with y'all. I really look at it yo, we can't win with y'all. But
it's facts though. It's and it's honestly, it's if you be factual, honest, that's what they don't want to hear. You can tell people that they're gonna get blessed that it's 2008, $18 or $81 or 2018. If you make it poetry, right? Yeah. If you turn it into a spell, people will donate with no problem. But if you say, listen, guys, you need these funds to do this, funds is needed so I can travel to get there, funds is needed for a venue, logical things that you would need funds for. People have a problem with that. They rather think that they're gonna get it back, pressed down, shaken together, and running over.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I just wanted to point that out, guys. We would love to travel around and do this, just with no additional cost to you guys or anything. That's not our point. Our point is not to get rich off this at all. So I just wanted to make that point. Your team viewer kicked me off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess that's the end.
I have to stop.
Yeah, just said stop streaming or stop. Yeah, should be stop recording, stop streaming, one of the two.
All right, so guys, before we get off, love you all. Stay focused. Stay focused on moving forward and evolving. Remember, the way in is out. Think, meditate, right? No need in praying, that's an outside thing, right? No need in arguing, that's an outside thing. Deal with your own brain. See something that makes you feel uncomfortable, ask yourself why. If it's not a person being hurt, a person literally being hurt in front of you, ask yourself, why does this bother me? Am I being programmed? Are they trying to activate me? Am I being activated like a sleeper spot? Who's puppeteering me? Where's the strings? Start looking for them. As soon as you start to feel yourself feel uncomfortable, start thinking to yourself, is this going to matter a year from now? Like, really? Start to think like that, because you got to understand the government likes to manipulate you based on your first response. We like to respond in a quick way, instant gratification, like I said. Avoid that crap. Think long term. All right? Everybody? Anything else, Josh?
Yes, Josh. Nope, that's it.
All right.